All right.
eventually when it wants to. Starting video transmission. There we go. We're live. Let's go.
What's up, everybody?
We got Herbie back after his little. He took a little break, didn't you? Is that what it was? A little vacation. Little.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
He gets this.
Non-stop.
Herbie gets this brand new job of like the high life of working out in California, and he's like, you know what? I need like 2 weeks of vacation, all right off the bat, and that's what it
Yeah,
was,
right.
right?
It was just go get. Not gonna use the word because it hasn't been long enough yet on YouTube, but
Yeah.
get smoked on uh, Utah, and then come back here, and
You're
then
going in and out. You're like a
back to
robot,
Utah
buddy.
and fly to Utah.
I'm glad it's not just me. I
Oh,
hear a bunch of
how
in and
about now?
out, and
Yeah, Herbie's with his fancy California internet
Maybe
over
it's
there.
bad. How's it now?
Better.
It was fine before.
Well,
So, anyways, then we drove right back to Utah after we got back from Utah, and then had a journey out there for 10 days. So, yeah, Eric, Eric Kush is Herbie on Mars.
that's what you sound like.
Fuck yourself. How about now?
Why? Oh, that was weird. Yep. Okay. I was just checking, verifying that my mic actually works this time. Because for the last two shows, when I started the show, I was on mute for some reason because Streamlabs does fun things.
Hell,
But we
right.
actually got a guest on this week, and we'll be having more on as the year goes on. Now that FD's mostly over, it's technically over as it is. So I mean, I don't even know why we're going to Long Beach, to be fair, but we do have your prospect champion of 2025, Cody Buchanan, and I guess the first thing I want to ask is, did you think coming into Utah you would be the champion?
yes, but no. So FD to me, FD to me has always been like I want to win the championship, whether it's
Right.
prospect or whatnot. We knew the math was possible. I mean, we were only 20 points behind everybody.
Yeah.
The way I saw it, as long as the top three got knocked out before the final four, and we
Yeah.
won the event, we could have taken it. So I mean, we definitely pushed
That's
for
true.
it. That's for
Yeah.
sure. But there's
No.
always the possibility of not doing well. So
Right.
yes, but no. I'll answer it that way.
Yeah. Well, let's start from a little bit, not the complete beginning, but I would like to start with the story of how I got introduced to you. We were doing Tech In because you were like the first year that I think Link had required ECUs, or it might have been the second one for the series, second year. For the
Second year.
Second year for
Second
the
year.
series. So part of my job is we go and we help tech in all the cars at the beginning of the year. So I get to meet a lot of the prospect guys at the beginning of the year. And there's this goofy guy and this really interesting looking 350Z, different colors as well that you would normally see on a car. And yeah, to me, you were just like one of the goofy goober kid, and I was like, who is this guy? Like, who invited him? Like, and I think, where did you end up placing your rookie season? Because you ended up being pretty respectable, if I remember correctly.
We were tied for 10th or 11th or something like that. I think the
Yeah.
overall finish was 14th, based off of the final event finish.
Right.
But yeah, we were tied with like 4 or 5 people, give or take.
Yeah. So it was actually really respectable, and you kind of gained my respect over that season, and especially after those next couple seasons where you were actually starting to contend for championships. And it's just funny because you're just an unassuming guy when it comes to, I guess, someone that would, like, to me, you don't strike fear, if that makes sense, compared to, like, say, someone else, just because of how like happy you are and how like your personality is. I'm
Yeah,
trying
I'm
to
not
explain
really.
what
I don't.
I'm
I
saying.
don't.
He's such a rookie, Bill, too.
I don't really know exactly what you're trying to get at, but
But
yeah, I
just
mean, I'm
like
not really afraid of driving.
no, but what I'm saying is you're such a go lucky guy that it's cool that you're able to compartmentalize that side of yourself, but then when it comes to the actual driving, you find this very consistent calm level, and I think that's been your biggest, I guess, um what would be the word I'm looking for, like your biggest
Advantage.
advantage, or yes, is your consistency over the years and just how consistent you've been at your leads and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of curious, how does how do you transition from your happy, fun interviewing self, and like even all my interactions with you have been pretty similar, like you've always been kind of that fun goofy guy, but then like when you get behind the wheel, you're an animal.
Yeah, I definitely have split personalities in a lot of regards, driving especially. Jacob kind of talks about it a lot, where when that visor goes down, there's a big flip of the switch, and you just kind of turn into a different person. I think that's in a car, it's kind of my Jekyll or Hyde, like outside of the car, we're having a lot of fun, and inside the car, it's definitely let's go fuck some shit up.
Right.
We'll
No,
be
for
like
sure.
that. That'll be my one swear word for the night.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try to be I'll try to be
I don't.
tame about it.
Oh, I don't
But
care.
no,
Been the
that's
swear
kind
jar.
of yeah, the swear jar. That's kind of how it is though. Like there's different personalities with me inside the car and outside the car. And when I hop in the car, it's really just let's put the work in. Let's drive as hard as we want.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with that, you know, you've kind of you came fourth twice in the championship, or
Uh,
was just the once?
just the once.
Okay,
This past year was our third year.
that's right.
So we
Yep.
had the
So you
rookie
yep,
year.
rookie, and then gotcha, and then you came in fourth last year. I want to
Tied for
know
third.
your feelings last year. So last year you technically tied for third,
Yep.
technically got, I don't know what FD's ruling was on it last year, but technically I feel like you probably deserved a license for the Pro Series. But how was like becoming like the basically you were just off of everything, but like barely. Like how did you kind of handle that in the off season coming into this season? Because it had to
Yeah.
be
So
kind of annoying that you were so close.
I mean, it is what it is. So I'll kind of answer it.
Yeah.
Uh, so going into Utah last year, we were fighting. We could have gotten top three overall. There was a high probability, and we tied for top three. So there's that.
Yeah.
Uh, it was kind of basically first and second. Tommy. It was either going to be Tommy or Sully. Regardless, there was not
Yep.
really a way to get past them. Mata was my tie,
Right.
and very split decision because like I love Austin. He's been a huge supporter of us. He's very local. Like he's probably 3 hours away from us.
Right.
So going into Utah is like, you know what? Like if it happens, it happens. But I don't really care. I think we need another year of pro spec regardless. Utah happened. Saw Matta get the license, and I was super hyped for him because he's
Yeah.
been trying to do pro for however long.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, we weren't gonna use it anyways. Like, I'd rather the license go towards somebody who will use it.
Right. Yeah.
And then probably 2 months later, I was like, what the hell am I talking about? Like, I kind of wish we would have gotten it, and I really want to run pro.
Right.
And
Well.
that was kind of the whole
Yeah.
spiral thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
Full transparency, like I did talk to Sage going into this year,
Yeah.
and he basically told me if I want to run pro, he'll go to bat for me with a petition. Well, that was like
Gotcha.
a month and a half prior to Long Beach, so it was like
Oh,
it's too close to
too close.
try to
Got it.
put a program together. But
Okay.
then we ended up having talks about like where our program is and how do we excel the program to be ready for pro if we end up getting the license this current year,
Right.
which we got the license. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, let's talk
Budget
about
is
quit
also
going
a
into
thing.
Utah because you were fourth again. That had to be a little
Yes.
frustrating, right? You were just like, really, like,
My crew chief Matt, he kind of put it in my brain that it's like I am so damn tired of fourth places, because last year we would get a bunch of fourths but never a podium. Our first podium was this year in Atlanta.
Okay, wow.
Um, so we were so sick of fourth places, and then we got third in Atlanta, fifth in Jersey, fourth in St. Louis, and then we were tied for fourth. So we were like, what the heck is this fourth place? Like, is it just the curse of fourth place coming for
Right.
us? You know?
No,
Yeah,
for
I was
real.
pissed, but not really pissed, but like kind of it was like game on. Let's see how we can do Utah and shake things up.
Hell yeah. And
You
it just
did
kind
it.
of worked out perfect. And then um, it came down to you and one of your best friends out there, actually, which is the craziest thing. And personally, I knew personally, like, what you guys, like, how good of friends you guys are. So, like, I don't know how many people knew that outside of the drifting side, although you did talk about it in some of the interviews during the event and stuff and how cool that was. But, um, yeah, I mean, that had to be one of the coolest, like, things you've ever done in drifting.
Yeah, what's wild is like battling Corey, it's always just a fun thing. It's like thrashing with the homie on a weekend. It's not even a battle.
Right.
But going into Atlanta our rookie year, so 3 years ago, Corey was the first friend I ever met out in the not even the paddock where you like pull the trailers in before you even get into the area. I always show up early because Atlanta you have to tech or whatnot for prospect. So I showed up, slept in my truck overnight, and woke up, and Justin Chestnut was talking to Corey. Well, I kind of knew Chestnut, so I walked over and just kind of introduced myself, and Corey and I became friends. Like right there, we started talking about pro-ams, doing all that stuff, and then every drivers meeting from there on out, like we would always talk during the drivers meetings, and we were just really good buddies from there on out. He was the first friend in FD I met. Just so happened he was my first battle ever in FD as well. I went up against him in top 32 rookie year in Atlanta.
That's cool.
So just to have him be my first battle, and granted he wasn't my last battle in prospect because we did do Zaleski with the finals,
Right.
but he was the deciding factor for if we would get the championship or not.
100%. Yeah, and it's cool that it ended up like that because it really made, and I'm not gonna lie, made Utah really interesting. It made as an event per se, and
It
made
was
it really
something.
exciting. You know,
It was something.
I mean, obviously you had to have known what was going on uh, when people were getting knocked out and stuff. You know.
I did, but I didn't. I told my crew at the start of the weekend I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to know anything.
Do the
I
damn thing.
found out, do the damn thing. I found out not on purpose. Like every time I found out, it was because the other team who we were hoping would win, like with Sorensen and Chen, I would
Yeah.
hear them screaming, and it's like, oh, I guess I know who won that one.
Right.
But my crew is good. I told them don't tell me what happened, and they kind of shut their mouths up the whole time, and it was me finding out. Just I would always be in staging ready to go do the battle, and I would see the other crew cheering, like Zaleski and Sorensen, and well, both Sorensens. I think Cam took out one and then Amanda took out the other, if I remember
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
And I think Cam had a mechanical, or I don't know. I don't. Didn't they go against each other, or was that the? I don't remember.
Well, Amanda took out Nate.
Chen.
Z-
Yeah.
Nate
Yeah.
Chen. Zaleski took out Brutsky.
And then Sorensen Cam took out
Cam
Cole.
Cam took out Cole. Well, Cole had a fail, or Cole went off or something,
Cole
right?
Yeah, he went
himself out,
off.
took
Um,
himself out. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but
which
yeah,
I think
Cam
that's
took
what
him
all of
out.
them did, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was interesting because I think that track showed a lot of how important composure is, and not trying to send it to the moon, especially at a track like that where dirt dropping is such a big deal. Um, it really does. It decided so many of the battles that weekend, pro and pro spec, and it's I mean, it really showed that switch that you have and the consistency and how important that is from just your driving. And I think that was kind of what I was getting at in the original point I was making, and how it's such a dichotomy from how you are outside the car. And
Right.
yeah, and it's a really interesting thing to see just from like a distance. But like, what's so I gotta know, like, what's the idea behind the colors? Like, obviously you got some pretty bright colors. Your booth is pretty bright as well. You got a lot of fun things going on at the booth. So tell me a little bit about Cody and the marketing side of this guy.
Well, I like bright colors. Before drifting, I was a Honda kid, and I had like a lime green Honda Civic.
That explains a lot,
So
honestly.
Honda kid, you know, and that's kind of. I mean, I just like bright colors. I think pink is kind of a cool color, so we settled on pink, and we wanted to do split color. If you're talking marketing perspective, one of the things I don't like when you're at FD, not even FD, but like you're trying to shoot FD or you're trying to create media with FD,
Yeah,
it seems like there's the same photo every time of a car.
yeah.
Whether like you're going to the right, you're going to the left, it
It's the same.
typically
It's
looks
technically the same photo, just the other side. Yeah.
right, right. Well, so the split color was kind of a marketing thing as far as, well, maybe we can market this to basically have now you're partnering with two different cars, so to speak. So
Yeah.
you can go to an event, you can have two different sides taken, and it's not just the same photo of the same car
Right.
throughout the entire event.
That's interesting.
That was the theory. We did that the first year. It started out as a marketing thing, and then it just kind of stuck as far as like now we have a split color. People know it as a split color, and it kind of transpired into there. I also like to be different in that regard, to not being the same color or the same. I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, like
Right.
I
Yeah.
try to be a little bit different and
Yeah.
stand out
Yeah.
from
I
the
would say
paddock.
baby blue and hot pink aren't used too often in drifting. So
Not quite, no. And I don't know. I do like the pink a lot. The teal's great too. I think last year was probably our one of our best liveries we've had. Just it was the silver and
yeah.
pink. Or no,
Yeah.
silver and blue. Silver and blue, I think.
Yeah. For sure.
Yep.
Silver and
No.
pink. No,
Hell yeah,
final
dude.
answer.
No, it's a cool operation you're running over there, and I don't know if it's just like maybe it's a little bit normal for North Dakotans
It's
to
not
have.
normal anywhere you go. No, we like to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, being off camera, but even like with the cars, you're spending so much money to be here. Just have fun with it.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
it's even like off camera with the interviews when I was going into FD. I mean, I've been a fan of FD for 10, 15 years, and I would always hate how all the drivers getting interviewed by Lorette were so cookie cutter, saying the same damn thing every time, kind of sidestepping all the questions and just not being a real person. So
Right.
going into our year of FD is like, let's just have fun with it. Whatever happens on camera happens, and at least let's be real people instead of a cookie cutter media trained driver.
100%. And I mean, it kind of gets me to the question of some of my favorite quotes are, well, the controller disconnected, and I tried to hit the reset button. That was
Yeah.
a good one. I think I was Atlanta last year. You said that.
Yep, with
Yeah.
Jack Davis, and he kind of got a little. I don't want to say upset because Jack's a good friend of ours, but
Yeah.
I've battled him 4 times, and I've hit him 3 out of the 4 times in battle.
Dang.
Yeah, but
But
that was just right off the cuff, and then we ended up making stickers out of it. We made reset button stickers.
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's always fun when you get a chance to interview you. Also, another thing that you've kind of proven, I don't know if proven wrong is the correct word, but I've always heard 350Zs are not competitive chassis. I know you've heard it a bazillion times.
oh yeah, I should have bought a 240 or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. Should have bought a BMW. You know,
Yeah.
that's actually the
Well,
right answer. But
yeah. I mean, it seems like it, right? We know so many people building BMWs, and they're
right.
pretty sporadic
Yeah.
in the series. No, I kind of fell into a 350Z. I had a 240 forever. Drove a local event. Our track was built 7 years ago,
Yeah.
and I parked my 240 on top of a K rail and totaled it. It was
Mm.
super sick. Go on my Instagram. I posted a photo of the night of the championship, and I was like, from the top of the K rail to the top of a podium.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
But yeah, so I had a 240, totaled it. Really wanted to get in, like, didn't want.
Ah.
This is why I can't do things. He's back. All right, keep going.
All right, so I
Stream.
can you hear me? Are we
Yep,
good?
you're good.
All right. So I didn't want the season to be over, so I started looking for driftable cars, and I found a 350Z, what is now my missile car, and I bought it for $3,700. Couldn't really go wrong. So I drifted the
Yeah.
whole rest of the year on that, and I always knew I wanted to get into like competition drifting.
Yeah.
So go back then, everybody said practice what your like use your practice car, whatever that is, as also your comp car. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I can't afford another, like, two other cars. I can't buy another practice car
Right.
and build a comp car. So we just started building what is our pro car now.
Yeah, the Z.
Nice.
That was also back then where E46s, E36s. I mean, I'm sure like Denofa knew the secret, but not everybody was like, hell yeah, get an E36.
Right.
I think it was, what year was it?
20 would have been 6, 7 years ago. So do the math. 2019, 2018.
So
Would
right
have been.
before COVID. So I mean, S chassis were getting expensive. They were certainly overpriced, but not at the price that they were at now.
Yeah,
So like
nobody was making an FRS competitive at that time either.
an
Right.
FRS and like the BMWs, it was like, yeah, people knew, but it was like they liked the 240. You can get all these body kits and everything, and all the bells and whistles. It's been tried and true a million times, and it's like, why change to the BMW yet? And then it was like, oh, look at all these benefits that we get, and they're cheaper than an S chassis now.
Right. Well, and you got to realize like your market too. We're in North Dakota. There's not a lot of drifting. At least like there is a lot of drifting, but we're all just kind of learning together. We're not in California where there's 300 drivers. I don't actually know how many drivers there are in California, but it's not E-Town where there's so many people who've been doing this for 20 years and they can tell you, "Hey, this is what you need to do."
Yeah,
Yeah,
E10
100%.
So that's kind of how I fell into the Z, and I would say they are pretty competitive, but we've also been figuring this car out for the last 6, 7 years.
Right.
Lot of trial and tribulation.
Yeah. Are there any benefits that you've kind of seen with the 350Z that you really like, or like is there anything that you really like that you would sell people on a 350Z?
It's a bubble.
It's a computer mouse for sure. No, I mean Z's are like they're pretty great learner cars. You could buy one with a VQ already set up, and they're fairly cheap, and they're ready to go. They're probably one of the best learner cars.
Yeah.
Competitively, they are still pretty competitive. We kind of proved it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we did do some chassis stuff. Put Wisefab on the car, put Feels on it, and you're pretty well to go. I think in Pro Spec with the 255 tire, it kind of doesn't matter too.
Yeah.
You're only going to be as good as a 255.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. That's true. And it's not like you had any. You didn't. I don't remember any time you really struggled to keep up with anyone.
No, I mean, our car was honestly very fast. I mean, I'm trying to walk on eggshells here. So my crew chief might get mad at me for saying all this stuff.
Oh.
Utah, we were 20 psi in the tires, and we kept up with everybody. We were one of the fastest people,
Yeah. Yeah.
and a lot of people had to run 14, maybe 12 psi just to
Yeah. Yeah.
keep
No,
up.
I was gonna say that
And
sounds pretty high.
I think
Yeah.
honestly, like watching from the media standpoint, it's like you don't necessarily look fast. It's just that you're consistent and flowing through each zone properly, which then makes your overall time faster because you're not choking yourself up and then having to just spin the tires and do a rolling burnout into the next zone typically, like
Yeah, you
Right.
keep your momentum.
you have a proper setup for the 255 class, like you said. Like there's
Mhm.
only so much you can do with that tire, and I feel like you understood the balance between, you know, gripping the shit out of the car and just driving forward, and then also remembering like the rest of your classmates, basically, of like, well, they kind of suck. Nah,
The
it's like,
women's league.
yeah, so
But
yeah,
no,
so
but I mean, what I've always said with drifting, and we had a really good conversation with Brian Hopp last week about it, is that, and I was trying to tell him, I was like, dude, 85% of your battles are going to be won in the lead in pro spec,
Mhm.
probably.
Yeah, and that's
You know,
so like our first year going into like our rookie year of FD, I was so focused on the chase and I felt like I had pretty good chases, but my leads were pretty garbage. And we overgripped the cars so I could keep up with all of the lead drivers, and that's how I lost. That's how I didn't do very well. And then going into last year, we honestly just pushed way more in the lead, and we won a lot of the battles in the lead. We took a lot of grip out of the car, and we put down a good lead, let the other person mess up in the chase.
If you
yeah,
could keep those horse blinders on and just do your own thing, and like that is how you win pro spec. Honestly, it's just disregard what they could possibly do in the chase. Just put down a heater of a lead, and then, obviously you're like, even if you took all the grip out, there's still a way for you to stay near that pocket in the chase.
yeah,
Like, yeah, you got to make some sacrifices, but like overall, completing a run is half of the battle in prospect. So,
yeah. And then like if you're a good driver, you can make a slower car keep up with faster cars. You know, depending on if you're getting on throttle faster than the other person, if you're
yeah.
based on how you transition. You know, like there's a bunch of ways that I've seen slower cars per se keep up and look really good.
Can we talk about? Oh, I was gonna say, can we talk about the entry in Utah real quick? How many people do you think it was their first time throwing a clutch kick entry
Oh,
in
I don't
prospect?
know.
I'd hope not that many. I'd
I would hope
see
not,
that.
because I was literally doing it last week
There
or
was a lot
Saturday.
of people, like there's been a lot of people who they would handbrake enter every track. I'm generally curious how many people never really did handbrake or clutch kick feint entries.
Well,
I
let
would
me
say I
think.
think
Okay,
that they all did,
so
but I don't think that they had to be forced to do it in a professional standpoint.
yeah,
In a
because Atlanta, you had to handbrake. Uh,
Yeah, that's a given. You have to do it there.
I would say most people would handbrake in St. Louis, no, or would most, when
you
considering the
can
pro,
go
would
either
most
way.
pro, I guess when I think about the pros, a lot of them do fan entries at St.
Yeah.
Louis.
Yeah.
Um,
Same with Jersey. A lot of people are straight line handbraking. I mean, I mojied
that one
everywhere
makes sense
besides
to me
Utah,
though.
but or Atlanta.
Jersey, I feel like
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, when I drive that on the sim, I monge or faint entry it,
Straight
but
line. Yeah, you could definitely do both. You just don't want to get caught on the rule was it 3 times switchback or whatever. You can't make
Right.
right.
but
Well,
I
who was
mean,
that? Was it Chen and Farah at E Town like 2 years ago? Do you remember that, or a year ago? Nate
yeah,
Chen swung around, and it was
Y-
I think it was Jason Farah. Farah.
Yeah.
and he got dinged for it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd be interesting question though, because so when you say that, were you seeing a lot of mistakes on entry? Is what you're saying?
I think I saw a lot of people not really knowing how the car was going to react
Mm.
on the Manji flick, and there was a lot of people who they would drive around and then get to the zone and flick it, or like handbrake
Mm.
in instead of like a big gangster flick.
Right.
Buy strap. Looking at you, buddy.
Dude, that's the style, man. It's all about the flicks.
That is,
Yeah.
oh, I was gonna say driving in. I was gonna say that's no style.
Oh, no. I thought you were saying like me as far as
No.
flicking in.
Well, yeah, doing the proper, like,
Yeah,
understanding your wheel speed and then like breaking the tires free right before you gotta flick that thing around. A lot of people just like run that bitch to the moon, and then they're like they try to get the flick going and they're like, I can't get it sideways. It was like, well, you ran out of wheel speed and now you're just gripped
right.
forward. Like that, there's things that are happening here that you're not understanding. It's crazy.
And that's the only reason I'll handbrake in Atlanta is I'm already at like top of rev limit
Yeah.
before entering
Right.
in Atlanta.
Do you downshift though, don't you still? no?
Not on entry. No, I'll be so I'm third gear because we're
Yeah.
stock diff. So I'll be third
I
gear
keep forgetting that. By
all
the way, yeah,
through.
he's on a stock diff and he just won pro spec.
I know.
Yep.
That's what I'm curious about this next year's budget, but we'll get into
Oh,
we'll get into
do you know something I don't?
no. Oh no.
But yeah, what were you saying? Sorry, bud.
Oh no, I've in Atlanta. I'm third gear the whole track. We have enough
Okay.
power where my first year I would downshift in the keyhole only in the chase, and this year, well, the past 2 years, I have enough power to spin it going that slow. So I just kind of pick the proper line in the chase to not straighten out and keep the wheel speed up and do a lot of clutch kicking. But
Right.
no, I don't downshift anywhere.
Nice.
Interesting. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the crazy part is you've kind of do all the tracks have a similar ratio that works with your gearing, or do you change out diffs?
We have 3 different diffs we choose from. We have a 3.3, a 3.5, and a 3.7. And I'll let you think about where those gears go for which track.
Yeah. I mean, that is interesting though. I mean, doing it the
I don't think
old-fashioned
that
way.
you have to withhold any of that information. Not many people else are running stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can do the math. You
I
can
think,
figure
I
out
think
the math.
I think you're safe with with that. But yeah,
Yeah. Is there anyone else in prospect with this stock diff?
not.
know?
I don't think last
I
year
don't-
was Tyler Foley. I don't know if Trevor Root had a stock diff last year. He might have had a quick
M3
change.
diff.
but-
The Mustang might have a 9-inch. Might. Don't quote me. I don't know 100%.
Yeah,
Which one?
The SN95.
It's a quick change.
Oh,
Is it?
It's got a custom subframe built for it.
Dang. Yeah, I don't know. I know we run stock diff and it worked for us.
I think you're the last standing one. Well, was the last standing prospect there. So, props
Yeah.
to you for getting it done and lugging those big old pumpkins around the country.
They're probably lighter than a quick change.
3 of them.
Yeah, you need 3.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, we know which gear to bring to a track, so we only bring 1 in a spare.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right.
So we don't have the
And
3
they're
diffs.
they're just straight stock 350 Z dips, right?
Yeah. Well, the 3.3 and the 3.5. The 3.7 is a 370 diff.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And they handle the power no problem. What axles are you running then?
370 Z stock eBay axles. Like OEM crusty 370. I actually bought them off of Alec Robbins like 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
3 years ago, something like that. Yeah.
That's incredible, actually. Like, see, this is the stuff you have to talk about when you're talking about making a 350Z competitive, because there's a lot of money saving options. It sounds like here.
This is where I saw your partial or the highlight clip of you and Jacob talking about your budget versus some of these pro guys. And
Yeah.
obviously, like, I don't know if you were meaning directly to the pro. Obviously, they have 8 rounds versus the 4, but you have definitely found ways to budget yourself where other people have been, capable to purchase all these things. Maybe throw it on the card or debit, whatever it might be. But yeah, you've had a budgeting team, and you've clearly shown that you could perform with it. So I'm just
Yeah,
kind of
that post kind of got blown out a little bit out of water. I didn't really know they were going to clip it on Instagram, but no harm, no foul. We definitely learned how to be cheap with what we need. Uh, we don't spend a ton of money we don't need. We don't need to spend $200,000 to build a car, obviously. It's one of those things where we'll spend the money where we need to. We'll make sure everybody's fed. We'll make sure everybody's got a good bed to sleep in. But do you really need a $500 barrel of E85? Probably not. We did it on pump gas E85. I
Wow.
bring I bring eight little jugs with me to the gas station every time before I leave for an FD. Cost me $80 to fill all of them. Last all around.
no.
Pump gas E85. You don't need
Wow.
that. Do you need it? Maybe not.
I mean,
Maybe.
as long as you have a computer in the car that can understand what the fuel content is, yeah.
As long as your
Right.
tuner is proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we run safe. Like it's not like we're running 40 degrees of timing or anything.
Yeah, tell me what the engine setup on the car.
Oh man, all right, you're gonna get a kick out of this. It's a Storage Wars LS engine.
So,
Um,
or like the TV show.
yes, but no, it's something like that. It is an LSX block, LSX heads. I paid $700 for it.
Nice.
One of our buddies, who's local, his dad does basically Storage Wars, just not on
TV.
television.
Not
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, and he calls me one day and he's like, "Hey, do you know anyone who wants to buy an LS engine?" He's like, "Yeah, maybe. How much do you want for it? What is it?" He's like, "I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just says LSX on the side of the block." I'm like, all right, send me your address. I'll be right there. So I get there. Ended up, it was a full LSX. Everything there, heads and all.
Wow.
Got it for like $700. Then
Wow.
we fully rebuilt it and whatnot. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did put rods, crank, pistons in it.
Yep.
So you're going to do that anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a really gnarly engine for very not a lot of money.
No,
Yep.
that's cool. And uh, your not centrifugal. Sorry, your root style blower, right?
We are a Whipple 2.9. It's a 10 or so year old Whipple. I bought it used off marketplace. Um, not I was going to spend the money on a proper Whipple. They were 4 months out when if we were going to buy one, and we
Oh,
needed one like really soon when we were going into prospect. So I just
yeah.
bought it used and got a good deal on it. We had to get it
Wow.
rebuilt like twice because it effed up on us, but not the end of the world, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, we run that. I run Daco belts and Daco like the balancer, and we don't have any issues with the belts. I say knock on
Brilliant.
wood. I don't have any wood around me, but we put a new belt in every round, and it wasn't because it would fall off. It was just for preventative maintenance,
Which is
which is
impressive
on.
because when it comes to root style blowers, the belt seems to be the always the issue.
Yeah, it's like unheard of, but we were really good about it, and I feel like any supercharger, even like the Vortex styles, you're gonna have belt issues.
Yeah.
We spent a little bit of time trying to figure out a good pulley drive, and it worked well for us.
Got
Yeah.
it proper balanced, I'd say.
Yeah,
Well,
something like that.
well, the thing is with the root style, the torque comes in so early. That's why you're able to stay in one gear a lot of tracks. You know,
Yeah.
that's cool. I mean, you found a setup to make it work on your budget, and it's a it's a good story for a lot of people trying to get competitive and stuff like that because you show that obviously you don't need the highest end of everything to be competing with some of these guys and
Yeah, we probably spent the same, if not more, running pro am than we were pro spec.
which is
If
incredible.
yeah, well, and you're kind of like you're you
Obviously
get
the
tire deals in pro spec. Like
yeah.
in the rule book, it flat out says $130 a tire,
Yep.
regardless, no matter who
Mm-hmm.
you are, $130. if you're running Pro-Am, I'm pretty sure it's prevalent anywhere you go. If you don't show up on a Volino or something like that, you're not doing well. Well,
Right.
how much
Exactly.
is a Volino? 180, 190 bucks? You're
Yeah.
already spending $40, $50 more on tires to run Pro-Am.
True.
You have to pay for travel regardless, so whether you're going to Pro-Am or Pro Spec, you're still paying for fuel, you're still paying for
Mm-hmm.
hotels or B&Bs. It's really the tires that makes a
Interesting.
heck of a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, would you say FD succeeded in making enough? I don't know if the affordable Pro Series is the correct term, but because that was the kind of like their idea was to try and make it affordable.
I think it's definitely affordable if you go at it that way. With professional motorsports, you're always going to have those people spending a ton of money.
Yeah.
When I was out at LS Fest, I sat down with Circle of Drift, and we kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Where there's so much money coming into it, whether it's family money, they own a business, whatever, whatever. You're always going to have that in a professional motorsports. Um, I think it's one of the more affordable series around. F1, F3, you can't really go into it
Right.
spending what we spend.
Right.
I'm sure there's people who spend more on go-karts than we spend for 2 years doing FD, you know?
Yeah. No, you're
Um,
right. Like
In
it's
like
all
two
it's all in
events.
perspective, but I was kind of talking more about, okay, let's compare it to like a high dollar series like a Clutch Kickers or a like back in the day when it was like kind of crazy. You'd have like a bunch of pro spec guys driving it, but like you said, they're probably all driving on Valinos and high level tires, and I mean at that point you're probably spending a pretty similar amount of money you would, and I think there's more driving at those events than there are pros and FD, because you guys really do not drive a ton overall.
yeah, we definitely don't. That's a crutch with FD for sure. It's probably cheaper. I mean, you could probably get carried away in both regards to a clutch kickers or to FD. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's people spending 400, 500 grand just to run in pro spec.
Yeah.
But there was probably also a thing with clutch kickers. We did see some pretty gnarly cars and clutch kickers running Valinos or whatever Achilles was, because Achilles was kind of at the tail end of clutch kickers. So
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do know LZ had like a stash of 123s that he ran for clutch kickers a while.
Yeah, I know that was
Um,
true. Yeah, no, that was a fun series, but
yeah, we
uh,
did it a few times.
hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
That's a
it's
journey for you.
yeah. Sorry, what
huh?
were you saying, Herb?
That's a journey, I said for you.
Yeah, it was like 30 hours,
Yeah,
give or take.
not bad.
That's
That's what
crazy.
like the year we licensed for Pro Spec, we ran the first round of clutch kickers, and then I wanted to go do licensing events. Then we won our license in Vegas. It was, well, do we keep running pro-ams? Nah, screw it. Let's go back to clutch kickers. We already have the license. So then we did another round there and kind of went all over the country after that. But yeah, it was quite a journey, and there was a lot of good media that came out from down there, and
That's
we'll
awesome,
see
man.
if clutch kickers comes back to full glory.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I hope
Uh,
they do. I don't know if they will.
yeah, I mean, I like the guys that are running it and stuff, but it's tough. It's tough because they don't have the big money piles that initially started the series, and I mean that was kind of what differentiated that series versus any other 5K or 10K shootout,
Yeah, that
and
was like 70% of their marketing was saying how 100K shootout
hmm
or 100K,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
and
and
then their
yeah,
first event was like a smash hit, and that's such a important thing to have. The
yep.
problem with when Clutch Kickers came back this year, they had to postpone an event. I think there was
It
not
was
a lot of
rained out or
information on the
something, right?
event.
Or no,
Um,
that was
there was
last
a
year.
lot of like question marks, and in my opinion, that was a big mistake. And then when the first event came out, it was like kind of a dud. in terms of like driver count and stuff, and it was
I
like,
don't even remember any media from it.
yeah, and it's just it's a bummer because like it's hard to get out of that hump once you're
Yep.
in it, you know.
Running
So
those big events it's hard. So our local series, ND Drift, we
yep.
ran 7, 8 years of a $10,000 event.
Mm-hmm.
We were there before Clutch Kickers.
Yep.
They actually came and competed locally here, and then the following year they started their series.
Mm-hmm.
But this past year was our first year we didn't do the 10K just due to driver count. It
Yeah.
seems like it dwindles every year, but we have a 5K event every year, which always sells out no matter how many driver counts they put out. The
Yeah.
5K always sells out. 10K does not.
Interesting. Is there different rules for the different series?
Just a tire rule.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 295 tire rule, 285 for
Oh,
the
that's
10K.
massive. Jeez.
Yeah, for the 10K they really wanted to bring the pros in, and what pro is going to want to come drive if they have to put a 255 on their pro car,
Right.
Yeah.
you know? And then the 5K is a 245 300 treadway rule.
Oh, so that's why you
Yeah.
have all
You
the
get
Yeah.
people.
you get your local
It's the
few
same thing
hour.
with the gambler.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
yeah.
The 235 rule, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
the one that
It-
gets
uh,
more people.
And
And
then
the reality is it's a price bracket difference, like there's just a drastic price difference from running a competition like that, and so there's just less of those people, you know.
I think for at least the gambler's sake, more people have been keen on joining along because now they've also realized even they can't get away in the 235 class because now you got Connor Osoli and Nate Chen and Dimitri that show up and still they're just like, fuck, we'll put a smaller tire on, fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know how to set up a car, like you can make a lot of tires work.
Well, they
Um,
allow Valinos in there, right? Like
Yeah,
the 08 C300s.
for sure. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's basically a 265.
Yeah, I mean, I did. So I ran our local 5K this year, and I drove my Crew Chiefs IS 300. Makes like 550 to the wheel. Put a 245 08C Molino on it, and she's rowdy. She three wheels.
that's cool.
It is crazy the difference. And
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Valinos, we'll take a quick break from you, Cody, for a second.
No,
We'll
you're good.
talk
You're
about,
good.
but we'll come back to you
Drift Masters,
some
right?
more stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we did have probably the biggest event of the year in drifting. I think it's kind of become that staple event every year that it's kind of the mecca of drifting at this point, in my opinion, in terms of.
kind of, I'd say it went out with a whimper. What was the book? Not with a bang, but a whimper. And that's like one, or is that a poem? But like,
You mean like the championship or the.
yeah, the climax.
Yeah.
We built up 390, 390, and it was just nothing.
Yeah, that was a bummer. But before we actually get to the championship, I mean, I'll bring up the actual standings and stuff too. It's a bummer we can't watch some of the videos because the production value is just it's impeccable out there. Like, uh, seeing the pictures that they get. Now, I do have a semi complaint because some of the smoke and stuff was kind of in the way for part of the when you were watching the runs, the smoke would come
Oh,
up above the fence and it kind of blocked the cars on one of the camera shots, and they kept using it. And I was like, "What are you guys doing?" That was my only complaint was like kind of the final corner was kind of hard to see sometimes.
whatever kind of fans they got though, I want one. Just
Yeah,
to go to bed with. That's it.
yeah, because like that's the big challenge with that event is how do you deal with all that smoke, and they got some crazy ones going. But I mean, in terms of the fact that a drift event can sell out that many tickets is really a testament to the sport, and it just makes you wonder like what if someone had the money of a Boondamat or whatever that company is called,
Bud Matt.
Bud Matt. Uh,
Boodman.
if someone with that kind of money came over here and did an event, would you get the same reception? Because that's kind of the
Warthouse.
question, you know. What?
I said Warthouse.
Wardhouse. Yeah. You know, because it's like obviously and we've kind of gone over this in past episodes. The reason FD doesn't do an event like this is because there's just no way they could financially make it feasible. um I mean, I think part of the big help is the fact that um and is it Bunamat? I don't. One of the companies that like sponsors the series does like roads and stuff, or like makes like asphalt roads and whatnot and driveways
Yeah,
and like so that
that's them and Warthouse's construction.
yes. So like those companies are already there and they're gonna make it so I'm sure it's a lot cheaper than what it normally would be for someone else to do it. But it just makes you wonder like how would it go over here in America versus obviously kind of being the mecca event. And it kind of, I mean, it is because like it's the one event that say a guy like a Matt Field or an Animal Z is going to go to over there, and that's like the one event you want to go to. Not the one event you want to go to, but like if there is one event to pick to go to, it's probably that one. And in terms of the driving, like I thought I was actually I don't know if impressed is the word, but I thought Matt was represented himself pretty well over there with the Supra, just having like one day of practice in that car.
Given he's a V8 guy and he switched into that tiny short wheelbase chassis and
Was
what
competitive.
JZ, yeah, and it was right on like those entries on Shanahan's door each time was awesome. Like that was sick. And yeah, I mean, he stayed true to it. All the haters out there, the fields out there to just crash people, but he wasn't. He was just driving aggressively,
I
like
mean, he
you
did
have
hit
to
Adam
do.
pretty hard in practice. I saw a clip of that.
All right, take it easy. I think Adam was already doomed before he hit him.
Yeah,
So
I know. Dude, Adam does not care about the back of his cars.
it
Like,
was hilarious seeing that thing on his second run, and it's already an M compact,
yeah, dude,
basically.
Did you watch his YouTube video on
a
that
little bit
event?
of it, yeah.
No.
Just it was funny watching Sean zip tie every run. Every run had to re-zip tie the rear end.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just funny because he's kind of like that in FD a little bit, but I just feel like it was another level with this car. And the cool thing
I,
is that well, the crazy thing is that car sat for a year and did nothing, and they were
yeah,
able to
yeah, I
kind of.
did see his Instagram post saying that, which is pretty impressive. I mean, we've seen him do even more impressive work by getting a car done and ready for pro in 7 days, less than that. So, but the fact that their team built a chassis and a professional vehicle that can go and just sit there for an entire year, and they
They
just,
did have to replace some things,
yeah, I'm sure,
but
check the vitals and everything,
yeah,
and replace what that the E85 is sat in, or this, that, the other thing,
yeah.
and these fucking flies. God damn.
But yeah, I mean, I was watching his video on like, apparently there was a bunch of rust on the car and stuff just from sitting and whatnot from the atmosphere over there in Ireland. But no, it was an event that kind of like you said, the championship was kind of over before it really started. Unfortunately, obviously Peter Weisig's car shut down in 32. I never heard why. So I don't know, but there could have been a bazillion different things that shut the car down.
What's wild is Peter was fighting for a championship while missing a round previously.
Yeah.
Because round one he was totaled out in the final showdown, like the
Mm-hmm.
qualifying showdown, and he didn't get any points or
Correct.
any like contender points that round.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he fought damn near all the way to the very end without having an event points, which is wild.
Yeah, and the other thing
Impressive.
is you got to remember how it's a lot. There's so much luck involved in this sport because the second qualifying run of Connor Shanahan, he breaks an axle.
Right.
And that could have happened in his 32 battle.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like just one person had a mechanical failure at the right time, and then the other person had a mechanical failure at the wrong time. You know, because Connor already had an okay run going into his second run of qualifying, but it was fun to watch. Ryan in the chats like Nakamura was wild. That dude looked fast. I don't know if he was the smoothest driver out there. I will say that, but Homeboy had that thing hooked up, and it was just kind of wild to watch him enter, because he was so. I don't know if it was just more aggressive than everyone else, but or just the Japanese style and flicking it in, but it just seemed like way more aggressive an entry than anyone else was doing.
The Molinos be cooking.
Right.
They were definitely cooking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a couple of tires over there that are pretty dang sticky and competitive. Like I think.
Yeah.
I forget what the Shanahans are on, but it's.
Oh, yeah, Jacob was saying that they rewrap them like an 18-wheeler tire, which is cool.
They're retreads or
Wow.
whatever.
Yeah.
So they're kind of recyclable tires, which is pretty neat. But they're plenty sticky from what it sounds like. So.
Mhm. Yeah, Naoki's always been a shredder like that. I feel like whenever he lost in Drift Masters, he lost because he was driving like that, but it was not as tame. Where he finally was able to tame the car, tame his driving, it all just clicked for him to actually push him to the top.
Yeah, and I also feel like this kind of course benefit is like kind of would benefit him. The smaller courses, especially. I mean, I think, and to be honest, like this is a very European, just a European course in general with a lot of, not very big, but a lot of transitions. Even some pretty scary ones, like watching. Gosh, who is the yellow 2S chassis?
Oh, in the top 32 battle,
Yeah.
I can't remember. That was rough though.
They went head first, basically into the wall.
Then he pushed the carry out like 3 feet.
Yeah, that chassis did not look good. After that, I'm trying to remember who that was. Oh yeah, and it's Extreme Tires. That's right. That's a really generic name for a tire company.
They're extreme.
The extremes.
Yeah, you know.
Better than Ling Long.
I know, right?
Linglong's got some crazy stuff, dude.
Yeah, I heard their tires are good. So.
Macho Muchos.
Yeah.
It ain't those.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember if it was Keski Corpy, I think it was.
I think it's Corpy.
Yeah, but that was that looked rough, and I mean, you when you watch the replay, you can see why it happened. He was in the smoke, and just kind of guessed, and unfortunately guessed wrong. And even the Korpolinski battle, where he hit the wall, there, but he didn't like crash. He just like used it as like a bump stop to hold this transition a little bit longer. That was a crazy transition, and is it Clint Van Ort? Okay.
Clint Van Ort.
That makes sense.
Oh, that sounds right.
Yeah, but it was a really good series or a really good show. Even if though the championship was kind of done early, I thought the driving was a lot of fun. But you got to see some different ways to attack the course. Like Naoki, I think drove vastly different than like even a Dean or and then who's the guy that got second? Why am I forgetting his name right now?
I don't remember who actually got
the Polish
voted.
guy that got second. I'm going insane right now. Why can't I think of the guy's name?
There's a couple Polish guys.
Chat, drop it below.
The guy that got second. Who was in the finals?
Well,
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch it all the way through.
Yeah.
I watched like highlights.
Well, I watched it, and now I'm going brain dead right now because
I was
Korpolinski. That's what it is. Now I remember. So it was Korpolinski. Watching him drive versus a Naoki, they were completely different. Like Korpolinski, and they call him the surgeon, and you can tell why. He's a really good lead driver. He kind of reminds me of like a Dylan Hughes, which is just super consistent, super smooth, and watching him attack this track kind of a little bit. He was probably my favorite driver of the day in terms of watching how everyone was driving. And I was honestly really impressed. I was bummed because they one more timed the finals with him and Connor, and I thought he had won it basically. Unfortunately, he tapped Connor right at the end, like a wheel on wheel, and that's why they made it a one more time. But like, he had to have had a time of his life being a Polish guy in that stadium and like doing that well. But
Represent.
yeah, he was probably my driver of the day just because he doesn't have the flashiest car, and honestly, he's not the flashiest driving style, but it was just so consistent, and like
Was that his best finish in Drift Masters
I
so
don't
far?
think so. I think he's let me just look at he's fourth overall in the championship. It was his
Okay.
best finish of the year. He got 71 points at one of the rounds. So I don't know what place
Probably
that would
third
be.
or fourth.
Yeah, probably like a third or fourth he got, and that would have been the previous round. But Paolo Koropolinski, like he, in terms of consistently, is just. And Tom says, not gonna lie, Paolo's more consistent on a line than Dylan. Not knocking Dylan
Dang.
his driving, but like he's one of those guys that I feel like is like that though, where he's just that consistent of a driver. He's easy to drive with and against.
Yeah.
But I was really impressed by his driving. Obviously, the Shanahans were kind of the stars of the show for the event. The fact that they're 1-3
Yep.
on in the total podium at the end here. I'm actually gonna quick. Why don't we just pop
Just
up?
having a little bit of a mentee bee out there on the track was awesome. You see him throwing his helmet and kind of getting a little intimate with everything that was going on, as I'm certain I would do the same. Yeah.
I
And then,
did not see that.
oh, that was him versus James.
Oh.
And yeah, James after walked over and definitely kind of whispered
down.
to calm down a little bit to him, like, "Hey man, everything's all right."
Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
well,
mean,
and he's a fiery guy, and people know that. Like or at least I knew that. Like you don't want to make him mad. I've heard
no,
stories behind the scenes of
he's
people that
Irish.
have, and it usually doesn't end well. But yeah, it looked like he said the right side of the car just collapsed or broke, and I was
Yep.
like, that
Hmm.
that's interesting. But knowing where those cars are built out of, because I've been to their house, kind of makes sense to me a little bit. Like I don't know, like not saying that they're poorly built cars, but like they just
It's
look like
not,
they've seen a thing or two.
it's
Isn't
not
that
coming.
most race cars though?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. You know, it's true.
it's
Um,
not coming directly out of a Jerry Yang or RTR crew
no,
shop.
no, they're the shed that they're built out of is quite interesting. But I mean they work. I mean 1-3 in the championship's nothing to shake at, you know, like, and you know you look at a James Dean getting fifth, and that's like a bad year for him. You know, it's kind of the crazy thing. Testing a new car, like, hey, let's just give this guy a new car, see what happens, right? And
And
yeah,
basically had a zero of an event as well.
yeah, with
So
mechanical.
yeah. But seeing that Mustang go around that course it made me laugh the first time I saw it. I'm like, "Dude, this thing's massive for
Yeah.
this." It just looks ridiculous.
I feel like
Uh,
they had to reevaluate some of their judging over there just from how big it is.
I think so. Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
the first round he ran, like I feel like he got dinged like 10 points lower than the score really should have been.
Yeah.
Just just for being as big of a boat as it is.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely can't articulate the same way that an A90 would.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean his wheels are not going to be anywhere near where an A90 would be in the box. You know,
No.
you can't. And what did you
he's
guys think
big
of
enough.
Laurie Heitinen cutting off the back half of his S chassis?
Pretty
If it
tough.
works, dude.
So like, well, I feel like as a driver though, you wouldn't want to change dimensions of your car at all, like ever. But like, and the
Maybe
fact that
he
you're
said that.
pushing yourself out wider means you're slower, if I'm correct in saying that.
I was gonna say
'Cause it's a
maybe he
wider
said
arc.
fuck it after he blew up the third motor or whatever it was. So let's just go back to the complete drawing board, change
You're
everything.
you're
Because
talking about there's a cat running on my keyboard.
yeah, well, Lori, well, he cut the back half of the car obviously
Okay. Yeah.
to push the wheels back into the zone, but why? Because like they obviously were dinging if you were dragging bumper, or like destroying the rear part of your car. That's why like Adam's score for example, he was in all the zones, but he hit the wall. Like he was destroying his bumper majority of his qualifying lap, and so
Yeah,
like
the
you're not
crush
gonna
point.
get, even though it may not upset the car, you're also losing body panels some of the time.
Well, I think as a driver, you're always going to push wide, and even starting from 32 going into the final four finals, you naturally get wider and wider.
Yeah.
It's probably just he probably just wanted to do it that way. He knew he was going to go into the wall regardless at some points.
Yeah,
Why not make sure that when you hit the wall, you're not going to bobble and you're not going to get crazy dinged for it.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
no,
easier to determine where your ass end is at when your head only like when you turn and it's
mm.
like if your ass is only right behind you versus even further back, it's like, all right, that's hence why I love the Corvette on Assetto. It's easy for me to know where the ass is at. It's right there. It's-
Yeah, no.
so that
He's
was
like, I
his
think they cut into the radiator as well. I'm like, no, I think he just hit the wall and it broke the radiator the first time, and then they tried to fix it and it didn't quite get fixed.
Oh, I'm lost. I know what you're talking about now. There was another driver at Drift Masters who actually cut back of his car apart so he could go deeper in the wall.
That was
They were
Lori.
talking about it. Was it?
Yeah, Lori Heinonen.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm on the right thing. He crashed though, didn't
No,
he? Or
well, he kind of hit the back half of his car. He won the battle, but like he was
okay.
leaking a bunch of water out of the back of the car. The next battle, however, they tried to fix the radiator, didn't fix, and
Gotcha.
he didn't make it to the second part of the battle because he was leaking water.
True.
But
you definitely don't want to lose another
I just thought
engine.
it was an interesting strategy, and I feel like as a driver, you wouldn't ever want to change the distance, especially if you're used to a certain car. You would never want to change the back half of the car's distance because you're used to looking at a certain point on the track, compared to where the wall is, and the fact that you're changing the distance for one event seems risky in my opinion. But I mean, if that's what he wants, if that's what you want to do, and you're setting your, like you said, you know you're going to go into the wall, but the judges are super adamant about not hitting the wall, and like they're going to dock seriously for it. I guess it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. You tell me. Like, is jumping? I don't know, Cody. If you have a lot of experience jumping in different cars, being close to walls and stuff like that, is it a big adjustment? You know, like if you get in a car with a different rear end distance, like
Not
driving.
particularly. I feel like as a driver, when you get into the wall once in a new car, you kind of know where it's going to be.
Okay.
Um, so I don't think it's necessarily bad to try to learn a new car, and I don't think he was after the mentality of trying to go deeper in the wall. I
Yeah.
think he was under the understanding that he was going to be in the wall regardless. Every run, it was consistently running the wall.
Yeah.
So take away some of that bash bar effect, take away some of the car, so that it doesn't bobble. Because yeah, the judges are gonna give you point deductions if your bumper's in the wall. Well, it's even more of a point deduction if you're in the wall and then it
Mm-hmm.
starts, you know.
Do
Moving
the old
around.
bend and snap.
Yeah, there's people in FD that have different bash bar designs per track layout as well. So I mean, it's not unheard of.
Yeah. No, you make a good point there. Yeah, and it's this track. I think really, like you said, Herbie really showed how big some of these cars were. Like Yarko Eula's JZX.
Oh yeah.
That thing was an absolute boat.
Yeah. The SC 300.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like damn, you're a long boy. And
Yeah.
it this is a track where you need to articulate quick, and minus like getting into like I'd say like the last two zones, like getting into sixth and seven. Obviously, you're just getting into six. You can kind of make your float out there a little smoother, but hitting those inner clips and getting the car where you need to be. That's where I think the FRS and the A90 and some of these smaller chassis really worked well in their favor. Whereas, like on a big sweeper track where you got to do a slower transition, they're
Right.
hurting more. So,
That's where like a
yeah,
Mustang is gonna be more
proper.
more proper.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which
Mustang's
is
always
what
proper,
makes it
but
so
I mean,
impressive for what James does. I feel like because I feel like especially when you're on a wall chasing a smaller car, is it not hard to like not be ahead of the car because you can't be as deep just physically because of the car?
Yeah, and I
Or
think he definitely had issues with that at the start of the year. Was
yeah,
he would if he was trying to run a door, he'd more or less be dooring himself. Like
yeah,
the dude's front tire would be on his door.
yeah.
yep.
So it's definitely relearning. But he's been driving the Mustang for a few years in FD, and even the
Right.
E92 is a pretty big car. And he
That's
drove
true.
the E92 in Drift Masters as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of, I guess, and I'm not having other screen is not deciding to want to work right now, so that's wonderful. But I'm just gonna kind of read off the top 10 and tell me who you would kind of be surprised that's in the top 10. So obviously you got first place Connor Shanahan, you got second place Vicek, you got third place Jack Shanahan, you got fourth place Paul Korpolinski, five James Dean, you have six Kevin Presser, seven Lori Heinonen, eight Oliver Randalou, that's the E46 BMW, the yellow one. You got nine Tor Onik Via, and number 10 is Connor Falvey. Hey, good job, Connor. Because
Shout out to
Connor's like
Connor
a
Falvey. He's my surprise. He's
yeah,
my surprise that I'm happy that he's in there.
yeah, he's
Young
17,
guns.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess my disappointment surprise is Lori Heinonen.
Oh yeah.
Not really his fault. Obviously, lots of mechanicals this year. But I mean, who's to say that isn't what they do outside of the event? I don't know. I'm not a mechanic, but I was sad with his season. I'm sure he's even more sad, especially his bank account. Um, but yeah, those were easy two for me. Very proper proud of Connor and joining the Drift Games team and really holding it down while Dave, is doing well but is figuring it out,
Well,
and Matt Carr as well.
that's actually my next question. Do you think Dave should come back and drive?
Yes, I hope he does. I hope he does. This was a lot of mental this year, battling his own personal things. New chassis, I would still call it a new chassis. He hasn't had much seat time in it. Then switched to another new chassis just because he thought it was going to be easier. And that thing was a turd wagon. I could have told him that from looking at it from thousands of miles away. Um, and then is battling the so-called greatest. So like I still the debate of FD versus Drift Masters, but when you're having the two come together and you're going against LZs, Matt Fields, Manoas, whatever, all these different drivers across the entire world. Um, yeah, I hope that they let him come back, and I hope that he does come back. Um, yeah, I think he'll
um,
qualify. I think he'll make it top 32.
so a couple things he said in his video. He technically qualified for next year, by like three places or something. But if Dave wanted to drive, I'm pretty sure they would let him drive. I don't think that's really a question.
Yeah.
The question really is more should he. And for me, like it would be great to see him drive, but the thing is, he does so many other things as well as do this event, or as well as do Drift Masters, and I feel like it's going to be super hard for him to progress unless he takes it a bit more serious. And I don't know if he's willing to do that just because he's got so many other opportunities and things he's doing all over the place. But that's just kind of my 2 cents because uh, it's kind of tough to watch when every round it's like it's some other big story. Um, but it's just like, you know, it's just there's not enough practice in the car. So when you guys get to the event, things that you haven't really seen break before start breaking because there's I don't know. I just wish he would have the time and availability to actually put some serious time into driving the cars and finding the weak points and finding getting used to it. And like you said, Herbie, like building a drift car in 2 weeks rarely ever goes well,
Yeah. And then
especially
doing
when you're using a
R&D at a
mystery
pro event.
engine from the Middle East. Like, brother, that
Yeah.
should
So
as soon as that crank didn't turn, you should have said no, we're not doing this.
yeah, like actually the Super is awesome. Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean, doing R&D at pro events and getting your seat time in at pro events, or this goes all the way down to pro spec guys too. I mean, like you should be doing that, and I understand why it's happening, but now you have to look at yourself from the outside perspective and realize that you're not a professional. Like when you do that, like it's that is what separates you from Cody Buchanan, because
Dog, I
he
wouldn't say that because my first time driving the car this year was in Atlanta.
but
but you sim
but
drive too.
I
you
do,
know
yes.
you
and that
do like
and that's the
it.
thing is like Dave doesn't do that. He doesn't have time.
Yeah,
They
he
got a
does
sim for him to sim drive though, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like the shop
probably.
sim.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They should ship the car out. Hot take. Ship the car out to Oman because that's kind of in the winter time. Drive the Oman series. It's like 3 weeks out of the year. If he finishes top five, sure, bring him back to Drift Masters. If he doesn't, give him a wild card Drift Masters entry. Allow him like two events per season, and then have him run the IDC championship. Kind of what they did with Ryusei. They
Mm-hmm.
gave Ryusei the wild card, but they had him run IDC to build up that.
Right.
They
Which
did. I just
Ryusei did get third, I think, in the championship
Yeah,
of that
I just
series.
listened to a podcast today with Nazir. However you say the last
Yeah.
name,
Yeah, I'll
and
B or something. Yeah.
yeah, and he was saying his first year of Drift Masters, he didn't do well. He had to go run another series, but they offered him a wild card at Drift Masters. So he did that, and then this past year he came back and he was actually killing it this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
So
Dave's sick. We met him at the Indiana 50K like three,
yeah.
4 years ago. Such a dope guy. But you're right. He does do a lot of other stuff behind the scenes where he can't really focus a whole ton on driving, and I think he just needs to go drive is his thing, and
Yeah.
learn the car. Send it over to Amon. Drive the Amon series.
I no, you
James
make
did it.
yeah, you make a great point, and you're right. James did do it, and then his car got destroyed. But
Yeah.
that's beside the point. Um,
Yeah.
but speaking of James' car, Manoa went out there. Did Manoa things? Well, sort of. Actually, Manoa made a mistake that I would not expect him to make. Kind of surprising, actually, against McKeever, pushing a little deep on transition, and that was kind of it for him.
Well, Dwayne hit the wall, right?
Did he?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember now.
Dwayne also hit, which I think regardless,
Oh yeah.
Manoa was going deeper than what obviously Dwayne did. I think Manoa threw it in a little awkwardly due to Dwayne, but I think that his fuck up was beyond just what Dwayne did. Um, it sucked. I mean, obviously we all saw it. Manoa put down a great qualifying run. He was looking great. I mean, it's an incredible chassis to do bad in, but and then you also take Manoa's talent, and it's just they go hand in hand. And yeah, I think that was a scenario where Dwayne led him into the danger zone, and Manoa just gave an extra little twist of danger on top of it. Um, which sucked. I think that if the car was still drivable after that, which I mean, he could have drove it off the track, but it needed a couple of repairs. I think that he would have won that battle, perhaps, right?
Interesting.
Because I think that was the first run, or was that the second? I don't remember.
That would have been.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't
I
it?
don't remember.
Didn't they both go off, or they hit the wall? They shared faulted. His car wasn't fixable, quote unquote, so he wasn't allowed to do the second
O-
run. Or
Okay,
am I wrong? I can't
no,
remember.
I'm not sure what the actual call was. I just remember Dwayne getting the win. So that
Right.
would make
Right.
sense, like I said, like all of those things that I said kind of led into the fact that I would believe that it would have gone in Manoa's favor as long as he put down a proper lead. But if it
Right.
was shared fault, then it would really just rely on Manoa not hitting the wall, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
No, it was interesting because he went out and actually did a really good qualifying run in the car, which he was surprised about that,
yeah.
and then had a mechanical on his second run out. So, interesting event for him. I'm curious to hear what his experience is like and what James kind of had to say after the weekend and whatnot. And
Yeah.
it
And I
really
mean,
is interesting because I feel like that's something James is kind of testing out as something to do for next year.
well, yeah, you just Satria wrote 3 cars from James's garage this weekend, which I mean, like the lucky day one. I don't know personally how much James had to do with hands-on building that car or
I mean,
his
that car
teams.
doesn't stay in his garage.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Lucky
So
Day's
like, I
car.
know it was a giveaway car that
Yeah.
yeah, I watched that whole video, but nonetheless, James Dean's name on 3 cars at
Mm-hmm.
this event, which is incredibly cool.
Yeah. And shout out to Alan.
And
He got the opportunity to come out and redeem himself, and I think he did.
fuck, fuck
He
yeah,
did
Alan.
great.
Fuck yeah, Alan. Yeah, I was pumped as hell to watch him actually shine the way how I knew that he can. Because that was just what was it, Mandelo, that
Yeah.
he
Crashed his
totaled
first
his
lap
car
out.
basically for
Yep.
yeah, and then was just trying to reel it back in after that. So
Yep.
yeah, Alan
How
is a
many
driver.
how many other wild cards were there that I know Sorensen ran? She didn't qualify.
Correct.
Yeah.
There were quite a few wild cards, and
Wild.
I'd have to pull it up. So 1 second, I have it here somewhere.
I want to say there was like 9 wild cards.
There were
Give
quite
or
a
take.
few.
There was a bunch. There was
Yeah.
definitely a bunch.
All right, let me go down the wild card list. You got Amanda Sorensen, Hiro Manoa, Matt Field, Edward
LZ.
Alexander Husa, Adam LZ, Zhao Barrion, didn't qualify.
Yeah.
Lucas Tazimiski, Polish guy. Aleski, or European name.
Alexi.
Halovia.
Oh,
Um,
Halavnia.
yeah.
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 Hello.
He
Yeah.
ran an FT 2 years ago.
Correct. Yes. He drove one of the Trinity cars, and then the other Trinity car, Christian Shrenko, Ukrainian guy, and then you got Alan Hayes, Temu Asinsuma, a Finnish dude, and then Bartazov Ostalaski, the guy with no arms.
Oh
Um,
yeah. That was. I mean, it was awesome to see him out there. You could tell that
Yeah. It
that
was a
was
bummer because I've seen that guy drive before, and he's a solid driver. And it looked like he was having problems.
I think commitment problems essentially, honestly,
Yeah.
because you're trying to finesse this car around this tiny track, and yeah. Sorry if you're hearing Aceto. Yogi is letting it bang back there.
No, you're good. You can't hear anything.
Yeah, I was super hyped to see him drive. I've seen him. He did a few demos for Drift Masters, I think, but it caught me really off guard just watching him try to qualify. I think it was just being such a technical track where he doesn't have a whole lot of control in his.
Yeah.
I mean, he can control the car, obviously, but it's
Yeah.
not like a flat out track that you just. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to do switchbacks, like to hit that inner clip to then just immediately be able to just
Right.
articulate the other way. It's like, fuck, man. It would take me 100 years to be able to even get close to like half of what he could do with his feet. Like, hell
Yeah.
no, dude.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. Like, man, I love drifting and I love like, if get a car or whatever. I could never do that. This is trying to have a positive mindset of not an I can't, but there's just no physical way that I'd be able to train myself to be able to do those things. So props to him. I was pumped to see him out there. It was cool to see his in-car view from his qualifying runs. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely
No.
didn't need the FIA socks.
Yeah, he did. He had like the tape on, right?
Yeah,
I
I
think
think something like that. Yeah, grip
like
tape.
hockey tape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. But yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of the fun. I feel like this is like the one event where, like, I'm sure they had the most applications for in terms of wild cards and stuff. So
Yeah.
they
If you guys were to do a wild card in Drift Masters, which track would you do?
well, Poland.
Riga.
Okay.
I would do Poland because you get the chance to stand in front of 50,000 people. Like, it's pretty sick.
I want to go fast. I have done way too many laps on Riga to not want to go to Riga on Assetto. So if that wasn't my first choice, and a hard second would be Mandello, no matter which layout that they do. And then I'd pick Poland.
I would have to flip a coin for Riga or Poland.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Which one's heads?
We'll do Riga.
Hey, Siri,
Riga's
flip it.
heads.
Heads.
Oh
We
shit!
going to Riga.
Turn the wild card in now.
Yeah, that's it. Get them
Yeah.
on.
No, I'm curious. I'm curious to see if another American will, make the journey over again. I think Adam made it pretty clear that he's not coming back next year.
Well,
Probably
you
not for a full year.
You're getting the Sorensens, right? Both of them are doing it, or just Amanda?
Oh, the only one I've heard is Amanda. That's right. Amanda is driving it, but
Yeah.
she's got to qualify first before I get excited.
Is she doing a
about
full
that.
year?
So that's what she said on.
That's
She
what she
said that
said.
on FD.
Yeah.
Like last event, I
I
was like, okay.
if she could learn throttle commitment, then I think she'd have a way better time because
It's always commitment issues, eh?
always the goddamn commitment issues with these damn women. I tell you what. But no, like you could see it like when I was watching her qualifying rounds. I'm like, damn. I'm like, she's throwing the car where it needs to be, but then is like throttling it out almost like she was driving her V8 and you could see the car trying to lunge and she's doing a wicked shimmy down aisle 5 the entire outside zone, and it's like if you just let it eat a little bit and a little left foot brake, a little clutch action, then the car would just be settled. And I think that hopefully she'll get some more seat time in. I think she's probably going to be running the Trinity car again next year since
Mm-hmm.
this is her second time in it this season. So yeah, I mean, I hope she does good. Shout out to the USA over there. So
Yeah.
I'm always going to try to root no matter what. I gotta stay loyal to the goddamn red, white, and blue.
There you go. I mean, I thought it was a treat having Matt Field over there. I wish, like, dude, if Matt Field went to like a place like Spain, I feel like he would be an
man.
absolute animal. And
I would ask him if I could just pay for my flight and do media for him if we went to a place like that, so that way we could just have a good time during the extra hours of the day rather than race.
Matt's a shredder, dude. Odie was there and he didn't even drive. I saw photos of Odie out there.
oh, he was.
Yeah,
He's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Kind of makes
uh,
sense, but
his post of a paddock walk or whatever. It's just like him
Yeah.
taking pictures of the field cards, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I'm like,
That's good.
what? Simon was there.
Yep.
oh, was he?
Yeah,
Ben was there.
yeah, all these dudes. I'm like, damn, man. I'm like,
Like, why didn't you drive it?
God
That,
damn it,
exactly. You're already there. May as well drive.
you
Yeah.
know.
It's not like they would say no, you know, like they would absolutely let people like that run, like Odie
Yeah,
especially, you
I
know.
feel like for the show, like you're already sending fucking 93 people home with another couple, you
Right.
know, which I love. I
Hmm.
love that, by the way. Sucks to see it, especially when I'm like, kind of rooting for him, but then it's like, oh, you got an 86, you're going home. Like,
Right.
what do you mean?
Right.
So you
Yeah.
like qualifying or seating?
Qualifying.
I
Okay.
am a mix
I
of the.
used to be seating, and then now
I
I
used
am
to be,
just.
yeah, you're right. I used to be pure seating, and then FD decided to turn me against seating. So now I'm pro mix.
I would rather now watch somebody do with clean air the best that of their ability to at least have one opportunity, no outside variables, just themselves, the variable of the car, and the track. I think that that is the best uh, for professional sports. I think seating is cool. I won't take that away from it. I think that it's better media. Ultimately, when my boys are out there, and I know that they're probably not gonna make it past top 32. At least I get one more chase run in there. It's a guaranteed chase run. Hopefully, they're within the same continent of the lead car, but
Yeah.
that's neither here or there. But yeah, I overall have succumbed to the thoughts of my wasting time of qualifying. There's a lot of downtime in between. I would rather that downtime and deal through qualifying than I would of the seating bracket and just the same thing over and over again. Like this year, especially for pro, you saw the same three battles between Ben and Simon. That's them alone. Hurst and Novak, I believe, right? I think
Hmm.
was another one.
Yeah.
Multiple of these guys, and then they get in, and then now you're still going against James Dean. It's like, well, what the fuck did I fight for? Like, like I don't want this, but like at the same time, yes, you do because James Dean is the best, and you could put down a proper chase line behind him. Anyways, I'm rambling about that.
Qualifying works great for things like Drift Masters where they have amazing media. Not saying FD doesn't have great media, but they have no 5 minute times out. Their show is just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
With FD, there's such a thing as driver centric versus fan centric, and I feel like Drift Masters way towards the fan centric side. Like they obviously care about their drivers, but they care more about their fans. FD slightly both. It's more in the middle, but they do cater to the drivers, give us 5 minute timeouts, so on and so forth. If FD were to ever come back to qualifying, the way the driver centric is, it's just boring as shit. If you want to watch qualifying, go watch FTJ because they still have qualifying, and you'll fall asleep after
oh well,
Samet crashes for the second time. You'll probably fall asleep, and
well, I won't give any of those announcers any praise either because they certainly don't bring any type of excitement to the table whatsoever. I have tried to be banned from their chat multiple times. It doesn't work. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I would agree with you there. It's definitely more in this sense catered to the drivers. I would hope that, and I do feel that they've been going in a more speedier route. I mean, especially I'm sure you felt it during practice where you go out for your run and you're like, I can't fucking see shit, dude. They just sent
yeah.
17 runs back to back, and it's still a smokescreen out here. So
Whatever happened this year, it's been great. The first 2 years, we would maybe get 3 laps per session.
yeah,
I
yeah, no,
got 10 this in Utah. It's unheard of in Prospect. So
yeah.
you're right. Whatever they're doing now, it's insane. You get the laps.
So I hope that that would go into qualifying. And because it's inevitable that the judges and everybody in FD isn't not seeing what Drift Masters is doing. Like, I mean, for crying out loud, half of our field is going to Drift Masters at least at some point in their career. But um to keep the show, if they did go back to qualifying, which I truly don't know if they will. I know that they're hard set on seating, but I mean, if enough people make their remarks, eventually they might cave. But I would hope that their qualifying would go a bit speedier, just like Drift Masters, and just call it. Like, if you can't sit there and like really articulate these scores to the finest tooth, but it also helps that they have the Wally system. So
So
they
let me ask you this: for seeding, your biggest gripe is that you're seeing a lot of the same battles, correct?
Yeah.
same battles, and the fact that
It doesn't give a driver
somebody can
opportunity.
win. Yeah, it's not necessarily a battle of the best run, in a sense. It is, obviously, that's what battling is for. You want to do the best, but if this person now has a mechanical on their run, now, yeah, they can use their 5 minute, but now they're not, their next qualifying run wouldn't be for the next 45 minutes per se. So, like, that's already one opportunity. Two, if the guy in the lead does a little bobble and then now you chicken sendy it off the track and the judges don't see that, that's on you. So, like, these are all these small things that come into battling that wouldn't be there as a solo driver. Where if you fuck up, that is clearly all you, whether it be mechanical, a fucking bird flew in front of your face, whatever it might be, that's on you. There is nobody else to take the blame.
I agree with that bobble thing. That's one of my biggest gripes with Pro Spec is you could lose a battle just from the lead making a mistake and the chase making a bigger mistake because of it.
Yep.
What if they took for the seating? I think my biggest gripe with the seating is they take 24 people already seated, 23 or whatever. What if they only took the top 16? If you make it in the top 16, you're guaranteed in the show, like for the next round or whatever. Um, right now, you can make it into the top 32 and still not be in seating for the following round. So what if they took they only take top 16 for the guaranteed into the show, and then the rest 17 through however many is left over, those guys all have to seed. Then you're not having the same battles.
I would like that more, for
Okay.
sure.
Kind of like how
Yeah,
it
no,
was
like I said, like, I'm
in
not
was it Seattle,
100%.
right? It's kind of like how it was in Seattle.
Yeah, so like last year, not well, 2024 in FD or in Pro Spec, it was all top 16. Top 17 and so on, they had to fight, but if you made it in the top 16, you were good to go. You were guaranteed in the show for the next round.
Yeah, which I think that would be fair. I still think at this point, like I said, I don't hate the seating bracket. I really don't, and I'm trying still so hard to have that appreciation for it that I did the day one, because I thought day one I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm like, instead of sitting here through qualifying, I get to watch more drifting, like proper
Yeah.
tandem battles. But then as the 2 years now have gone by, it's almost resorted me back to wanting those solo runs of like watching, Tommy Lamera. We've brought it up multiple times at Orlando, throw down that heater, and it was like, wow, that was sick as shit. Vaughn Gittin a few years ago doing that Atlanta buy run, awesome stuff. And like things like that is what I miss from qualifying. Obviously, it's not going to be that every time. Um,
Yeah, but
and
you have 30 some drivers. You have so that'd be 60 runs, and you're gonna have 5 amazing runs that you go, holy shit, that was sick.
it's
And
not
for
at the end. I was gonna say, at the end of the day, I don't care about if I'm gonna say wow to one of them or all 60 of them. I want it to be more of a fair justice for every driver that has taken their time and budget to actually get out there and not lose because some judge didn't see that the guy in front of them or behind them fucked up because of another reason.
right.
I think that I think that it should be just on them.
It's the fairness thing for sure. I had an idea, and Chris Knapp talks about it a lot. Is the jam session qualifying? What
Yeah,
if you
because
did a jam session just for seating?
It it's so hard to quantify that. Like there would be
It'd
so
be
many
rad though.
complaints. It'd be sick, but there'd be so many complaints.
But you can take your
Like
last
there's no
practice
way you can
session.
take the competition that seriously. That's the problem.
Well, what if it was just to qualify for the seating drivers? Your 16,
Yeah, but now
20,
the seating
whatever
drivers are getting a
drivers.
bunch of extra practice.
Nah, you take the last 20 minutes of your practice session or something. Or you just rank the seating drivers in
I
your
mean, at
last
that point, you
practice
might as well
session.
just do seating bracket. I don't know. It's just my. I've always I liked what FD did. Was it 2 years ago where they did one round of qualifying and then the last 8 or whatever battled for the last spots or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
But
and
you
that's
had
fine
more safe runs in that. Like
for sure.
you had a lot more people just running safe runs, and you didn't have that wow factor
And
run.
that's fine.
And,
Like, I
and
mean, but I thought it was the most fair way to do it while still incorporating a last chance battle, basically, to get into the show. Um, which I thought was the best of both worlds. But the
and
challenge is we never know how many drivers we're going to have. And so I
yeah,
feel like it's hard to really make a series around it when we don't actually know how many drivers we're going to get. Like, for example, FD was expecting a lot more drivers this year, and then a bunch of pro drivers backed out at the last minute, um, whether financial
Or
reason,
mid-season. Yeah.
or
yeah,
stuff like that. I mean, like we lost like what literal for a couple rounds, so it wasn't that bad in terms of losing drivers this year. It was not bad at all compared to what it
Lost
has been.
we lost the RB and the rotary all in 1 year.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, right?
How about them apples?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like I don't think FD was expecting to have this low of a driver count, and
Right.
it kind of messes up the seating bracket. The way that it was laid out with the numbers we had with 33 drivers, it screws everything up because there's
Mhm.
no good way to do a seating bracket with that number of drivers. Because you're just gonna have a bunch of buy runs in seating and getting guys free points, which
we get,
that's not
we
fair.
got guys saying that qualifying is boring. It is
100%.
inherently boring, but okay, 4 hours of qualifying. Go watch F1. Go watch NASCAR. Go watch a GT3 race. Go watch any professional motorsport. And what do? For an entire day? How many qualifying sections do they have? Let's look at F1. Three. They have three different
What's the viewership on qualifying versus race day?
and that's the thing. It's always going to be lower. 100%. Like when you watch me personally, when I watch NASCAR qualifying day, I don't.
You watch
I
NASCAR?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure, dude. But like I'll sit there, I'll throw it on, but then ultimately like I won't really pay attention. But then if I really want to, what I like about qualifying is that now you go back and you scrub through and you find that qualifying run of the guy that you wanted to watch. Like Peter. Thomas mentioned seeing Peter his first qualifying run was sick. That is something that everybody in here that has, if they've watched it, could probably all agree on that that run was sick and that they can go back to it and probably say that was sick. Like, yes, you could do the same thing with seating, but like, again, now this is now just giving these people a more fair chance to show how sick of a job that they could properly do.
Yeah, and
So,
some people are
Eric
saying
Kush,
like,
that's not the point. You have the
yeah.
worst takes. Again, I'm going to say it. You're hooray.
So so some people are saying that Drift Masters qualifying is a lot more fun than say an FD, and I honestly I'd give that a lot to the announcers. I think the announcers do such a good job over there at making qualifying fun. It also helps that it's such a high threshold to qualify, so it's not like you have to have a solid run to qualify, and there's so many drivers that get knocked out that it is exciting.
It's exhilarating, yeah.
You know,
And that's where
that's the problem with FD is we don't have enough drivers to make it exciting because two to four drivers are getting knocked out.
if that. And yeah, and honestly, if like most of the time it's been one, and then now you just feel
Right,
bad
this
for
year,
this
yeah.
one guy. It's like first round Federico, right? I'm pretty sure it's like God damn it, of course it's him, you know?
Right.
So it's like so that just makes you feel bad. But you know, if it was 10, you'd be like, yeah, haha, fuck you guys, you lost. But like overall, we do need either more or do a top 16 only. Don't even do a 32. Just send the rest home.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that would be hard to justify just from a sponsorship reason. And I feel like drivers would get pretty pissed about that. But um, I don't know. It's going to be an age-old conversation. I am curious. I am almost guaranteeing we are not doing what we did this year, though.
I I would have to say something's going to change. I just don't know in which direction. I think that they're going to give seating another chance, which I'm not upset about. Um, I think that they got this close to making something really good of it this year, but I just my
And
inner
the drivers are not a fan of it. It's pretty well known that the drivers don't like this um, way of doing the competition.
I was
And
a
I
big fan of it.
what?
I was a big fan of seating. I've never been in seating, so I'm kind of biased,
Well,
but big fan
exactly.
of seating.
I mean, it's real nice for you when you're already on top of the chart or whatever.
As a
I
viewer, it's sick.
right,
it is.
and
It
so
is.
and so that's where, but like you never had to you never had to compete with any of those guys on a qualifying level because of where you placed. Like you never had to compete with someone doing a crazy qualifying lap to compete against your qualifying lap, and that's
And
where the motion of fairness was never really offered to people like that, and
Well,
that
I did my rookie year. We had the one run knockout. That was when Ben dominated
right,
the
right,
whole
yeah,
year on qualifying.
right,
yeah,
And it was fair, but it was also kind of boring.
for
right,
sure. And I think that this also I was gonna like mention this too is you know, you're only as good as your competition. So in pro
Hmm.
spec, these guys, you know, the the far and few good ones um, struggle sometimes due to the competition that they're dealt. You know, like you might go up against a guy that has not put an entire run down their whole practice. And then now all of a sudden, like, you know, your spotter has taken that into account. And now you're going to go up against them in seating bracket and they put a heater down, or they were putting heaters down and now they're just shit. So like that's where another seating thing for pro spec at least kind of comes into play, where it's like, okay, like I have to trust this guy that's also now like, why is he in the seating bracket? Is it because he truly deserves to be here, or was it like some fucked off seating bracket reason that, you know, he just happened to land himself in here?
I mean, that's
So
just competition in general.
for
Like,
sure.
just 100% professional competition. Like, looking at Brian Hopp, that's a driver that should have never been in seating, but he never made it out of seating.
Yeah,
Right? It's competition in general is that's just how it is. And we don't show up to an event if we don't think we can win the event, you
right,
know. So it doesn't matter. We'll use pro as an example. It doesn't matter if you're going up against a Mohan or a James Dean. Why show up if you don't think you could beat them?
yeah, no, I get that, but your confidence level changes. You like 100%. Like the way how you're gonna drive the car absolutely changes
Oh,
differently.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah, so
100%.
it's not about whether or not you want to win. It's just a matter of how you're actually gonna operate that chassis now. It goes all the way back to when I used to race dirt bikes. Like you're only gonna be as fast as the guy that's in front of you.
well,
Don't disagree.
I just threw a little poll in the chat. I'm curious to see what the chat actually thinks about it, and
I
qualifying
can't vote.
actually
I'm not
is
logged
a
in.
pretty big lead. I asked, what do you want, seating, qualifying, or a mix? And we're right now at 62% qualifying, 12% seating, and 25% mix. So, which is kind of surprising because I feel like from a spectator side, a lot of people would want um, seating of some kind. But
I
like I
feel like
said,
the core audience, like the core drifting audience, likes qualifying more, and
no, you'd make sense. Yeah,
but that's the core. If you're talking like a general consumer,
hmm
general fan, sure, it's harder to explain how seating works, but they like the viewership better.
right.
But
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
I
the
think
core drifting likes qualifying. They like the fairness, and it's way more fair. Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
yeah,
I think and there's pros and cons to each. Pro, you can sell more media content to your sponsors via seating. You could show that you competed. I won, FD like they don't need to know the ins and outs of what you necessarily just won. A negative of that is that you know when you do try like a sponsor that is keen on racing and they're asking you about the sport, if they want to know like what your proper plan is and how you're going to get through qualifying, this, that, the other thing, and you have to tell them about the seating bracket, they're going to be like, what the fuck is even that? And so like you'd obviously have to play that out from sponsor to sponsor, and that's just on to the drivers at that point. But there's pros and cons of each, and again, like I said, I wouldn't be upset if there was another seating bracket year, as long as they make some changes,
yeah. Well,
which
the
I know
fact that you
every
base it off of season points and not like, or no, sorry, you don't base it off of season points is wild to me.
yeah
Um, it's one of the weirdest things that FT decided to do, and they base it off of the previous round points, which I've
yeah
never understood. I don't understand how that was fair at all, because it kept certain guys in seeding bracket that clearly did not deserve to be in seeding bracket based on point levels, aka
yeah
Jack Shanahan. Um, and so you get a guy like that winning multiple um, seeding brackets, and then he does good one event, and now he's in top 10. So it's like because you got all those extra points in seeding.
I
yeah
definitely think they should take points out for sure.
yeah
Yeah, but
In
then you're
pros, go on. Sorry.
then no one's gonna complete the seeding bracket.
Most drivers are like, as a driver, you want to kick whoever's ass, even if it is in
Yeah,
seating. The only time people like, and I've talked to people in Prospect, the only time they quit running the seating bracket or like didn't try hard was based off of who they were going to battle, but they still ran the battle,
right.
so to
Well,
speak.
there were quite a few pro drivers that did not run seeding when there were no points involved. I
Look
remember.
at like in Prospect, it really matters because you only have 4 rounds, so you
Right.
can't make if you get the full 12 points in Atlanta, it's hard to really make that up as
Right.
a non-seating driver. If you look at our like the
Oh, that's what
Prospect
that's what you're
standings,
saying though. Like points are important because if you have no points in seeding, then there's not a whole lot of incentive, and that's why we saw a bunch of pro drivers the previous year where there were no points in seating, not running their car after they got in.
right? But if you want to talk fair, like it's hard to be fair. It's hard to give seating points to. It's hard to be fair and also give seating points. If you look at
Right.
the rookies this year,
Which is the
the
problem.
yeah, who was it? Zaleski,
Yeah.
John, Jerry, like all of the rookies. There's like 3 rookies in the top 10, and they probably would have been 12th, 13th, 14th, or whatever
Right.
had they not had the extra seating points.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, which I do think, like, Eric, again, I don't want to see someone who did well in seating with a season podium. Wild take, because they still fucking earned it. I don't think that the seating bracket should be worth as many points. Because like you said, you get 12 to go in and dominate essentially the bottom of the bracket if you're a good driver, like how we saw with Brandon Sorensen and Odie, like happened to be in the seating, and it was like, yeah, now we know who's going to be in the finals, guys. Like this is
Right.
pretty clear cut. But you still had the battle. I think that there is still some points to be earned there. It shouldn't be 12. It should be less than 10. So that way it doesn't equivalate the same as an entire run that somebody that is doing better now has to, now they're choked back to that 12 points. Like that doesn't necessarily make sense to me. Should be 9. or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
yeah,
I mean, in my opinion, it just makes it a whole lot easier if we just do some form of qualifying. It just it just solves so
Yeah.
many headaches, I feel like. And if FD can get to the pace that Drift Masters runs theirs qualifying at, and gets to the level of announcing that Drift Masters in terms of being entertaining, and I mean, honestly, half of it is the bigger field. I'm not gonna lie, and this is where we come to the debate we have all the time on this show, and it's the wild card debate in FD. And I have been like rah-rahing wild cards for FD now ever since I've started this show, because I think it would add so much to this to the season, because there's no risk at FD anymore. And when you get to the pro side, unless you're the one driver that gets knocked out, like
yeah.
there's no real.
And that's based on a hat draw. It's like, oh, am I gonna be the
Yeah.
one that's on the chopping block this week? It's like,
So
oh,
like
let's
half the
find out
thing
what
is just
the hat says.
increasing. If you increase driver count and do qualifying, it will be intense because people will go home, and like there's real consequences. That's what makes Drift Masters so intense, is because there's a lot of people that have a lot of, or fans of, like Dave Egan, for example. Dude only qualified 2 rounds. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of like one of the big stories, like, do you want to see your guy qualify even though he maybe not be the best driver in the series, but like it makes qualifying a lot bigger of a deal if you have the driver count for it, and then if you had an allotted number each round of a wild card, and then basically FD just lets in who they think would be worth driving a round or two. And there's enough former FD drivers out there that still have their cars, or people, even like how many drivers we lost last year. How many of those drivers that we lost last year could go drive a round or two? You know,
Yeah.
like a
I mean,
Forrest
or
Wang
just the
or an
amount of
Alec
drivers that are still.
Robbins or a, like, it's not like they don't have their cars still. It's just they just financially they can't run an entire season, and so the idea of, hey, you FT reaches out to these guys first, and be like, hey, we have these rounds open. Is it something you would be interested in driving?
Yep.
Or you could do an application system. Probably that's how Drift Masters does it, and do it that way. But obviously, you'd have to be extremely picky with who's coming in and driving. And then I've also brought up the idea of, okay, so you get a prospect guy that wins the previous round. Maybe offer him the chance to drive the pro round, the pro only round after that, if you wanted to. Like,
I had that same idea like 2
yeah,
years ago, and I was all for it. Take the top 3 prospect people, allow them to drive the following event, but you'd have to, in this weird narrative, for me, you'd almost have to make it you're not allowed to get points as a wild card. Because for me, if I were to go into pro, hypothetically speaking,
yeah,
if I competed this year in one round of pro, it would screw up the chance of rookie of the year forever. Like you would, if you got points, you'd be so
gotcha. I
screwed.
see what you're saying. I see what
So
you're saying. Yeah,
I'd want to make dang sure if I were to do pro, there's the option to win rookie of the year, and you can't do
right.
that on just one
Yeah,
event.
so there would have to be like a clause, and I would just put a clause in the rookie of the year thing that
Is
it
a
does not
full.
include wild card appearances or something like
Yeah,
that.
it would have to
Yeah.
be your first full season of
Right.
competition would be your rookie
hmm
year. Yeah, even
Correct.
if you did 4 wild card runs,
Yeah, because
I would I
I'm
would
trying to
hope.
remember. Did Adam do a wild card round before his full season? I feel like he did. I can't remember now. But like,
No, I don't think so.
okay, but I feel like even in Drift Masters, if you do a wild card round first and then do a full season, they consider you a rookie when you do the full season.
Okay.
So I don't think that would even be an issue, even if you got points. But
Yeah, the only other thing you also have to think about too, though, is how many prospect people are going to change their car up to run a pro tire, do all that stuff.
oh no, no, that would be on the pro spec driver to
Right.
do it as you see fit. And I would honestly, I'd probably only do the winner, just based on how things are, especially because we don't do a third place battle, which I don't like as well.
Yeah, we need to bring that back.
I get run a show is your thing, but man, like it's tough, man. It's tough. I
They can
get
do it with seating and how everything is ran currently this year. They could add
they
a third
could,
place
yeah,
battle.
100%.
For
But
sure.
I mean,
I think only at Utah we went over the time. Right?
Both pro and pro spec
Yeah,
both
yeah,
did.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So far, I think we could dish
Yeah.
out a couple more minutes for the
exactly.
average majority of the events so far. I
Oh,
think
and
it's safe.
there's so many ways that we could be faster with things too, and whatnot.
Um,
But
But
before we
we
get
do
too
have
in the weeds, we're already
it
at two
has
hours because we just like to talk. But I wanted to, get to this final question for Cody. Obviously, well, I'm not going to say obviously because I kind of know the answer and it's really going to be a non-answer, but I have to ask it anyways. Do you have an idea on what you're doing next year?
That's the question.
Exactly. See, I knew that was the answer too.
and we'll
Uh,
find out next episode.
I'll
But
leave it. I'll leave it here. I will. The most politically correct way I could say this. Coming into FD, pro has always been priority. I've always wanted to drive pro, regardless. Um, it's all going to come down to budget,
mhm.
car, everything of the sort.
Okay,
But
so
I'll.
like, sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah, you're
here's
good.
maybe a better question then. If you were going to drive pro, would you run the same car that you have now and try to make that car work, or would you want to build something different, or like would you think would be feasibly possible per se?
We are building a new 350Z chassis.
Okay,
It gets dropped off on Friday.
all right, so that
What
answers
it's
that
for,
question,
I don't know.
right?
Dirt
So,
track racing, late model.
Yeah.
but yeah,
We're
so
gonna
that's
ship it
probably
to Poland and do a wild card next year.
Hell yeah.
dude. How sick would that be? Oh man, no, but honestly, I mean, shipping a car, man, it's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that goes on with that. I mean,
Easy, totally not a pain. Everybody should do it.
I mean that's why so many people are renting cars over there. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
Right.
especially if you can get a car that's already set up over there. It just from a time perspective, it just makes a whole lot more sense. But yeah, Cody, any final words kind of that you wanted to hit up? Like any topics that we kind of missed, or um, like something that you wanted to say about FD or running the series or even the program or any shouts out for your program or anything like that.
I'm forever grateful for everybody, right? The team has been ride or die since day one, since pro-am days. So shout out to the team.
And that's hard to
Yeah.
keep a team together, by the way.
Oh, it's insane. We are thankfully everybody on the team is North Dakota nice, and we don't really butt heads very often. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. What about the Andy Luck story? Do we have to get into that?
Oh
Dude,
shit.
Are you guys
dude, I'm
over?
rusty. I almost forgot
Dang.
about this because we haven't had
Yeah.
a lot of guests on because I don't like bringing on guests when there's like an FD show because we like to talk about the FD round and not necessarily
Right.
the guest. But it was kind of a weird scenario where there was this week there was a big event, but also
Well,
we just won the
I pawned
championship.
Hop on you, so
Yes.
you did ask me last week,
Yeah, yeah.
and I asked Hop to take my place.
And it worked out. It was great. It was actually a great conversation with him.
Andy Luck did just say you're a great driver and a guy.
Oh, is he in the chat?
Yeah, he
He
just
is.
Hell yeah.
yeah.
That's right, Andy. He is certainly a guy. He is definitely.
Yes,
He
absolutely.
You may question
just
with what he
showed me
wears, but
before.
it's okay.
He was just showing me that he is a guy before the episode started.
We are politically correct here.
Yeah. But yeah. So, do you have an Andy Luck story? Actually,
I do.
Oh, yes, go.
Okay, so Atlanta last year, we made it into the Final Four. We finished Final Four in Atlanta. We were so hyped just making it to the Final Four because we only made like 8 previously. I'm going all blurry and shit. So crew chief was sitting on a golf cart listening to some hood rat chick singing or whatever. It was pretty wild, but Andy Luck starts walking to the car, looks at me, and I just look at him like excited. And I go, "We did it! Like we made it to the Final Four." And he looks at me and goes, "We did it! You're such a fucking bitch," and walks away.
Oh my gosh, that is the most Andy Luck answer I've ever heard. Honestly,
I
mean,
loved it.
Definitely.
All of the tents went out the window, and it was like, "Hell yeah!"
that's
Oh.
funny, dude. Like honestly, he's such a fun guy. But the cool thing is once you get on his good side, he's one of your best friends there.
Yeah, he's great. We vibe out a lot about trading cards because he's a big trading card guy.
Oh hell yeah! Like which
Big
sport?
Pokemon over here. So we're
Oh, it's
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
He
Okay.
runs. He does a lot of stuff with like grading. I think
Really?
that's one of his. I don't want to blow up his other side hustle, you know.
I know.
but
I know.
He can
Lies.
comment in the chat what he
You
does.
just said lies. So.
He definitely full of people out there in the world, that's for sure.
What's
That's
Andy
dope.
saying about Buchanan?
He actually said he's a great driver and guy, so that's why I said he's definitely a guy.
Yeah.
Definitely a guy.
Yeah.
That's a compliment from Andy.
But then Andy did add, "Herbie, you blow." So I
He
mean,
did.
He's speaking the truth.
What do you think Yogi hired him?
You know, somebody's gotta polish the pipes.
Jesus.
No, see, Andy hates me more, so I'm the one that's gonna get most heat from him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's understandable. You know.
Sound like a proper R&B man right there for a second.
It just sounds like that to us.
Oh my gosh. Quick question, Yogi. What is it like to take a picture of a pink and blue car? Is it fun to color?
I wouldn't know. I don't shoot prospect.
Sorry, he's so lazy.
Oh no!
No, I'm not there on Fridays.
I know, you're right. That's right.
Yeah,
He's like
so,
off doing fun stuff.
Yeah,
Team building.
team building. That's what we call it.
Meanwhile, Nate's killing me. Team breaking down.
Hey, I
Actually,
mean, you were the guy that got hit.
I'm kidding.
I was actually watching prospect like right before we're going to a comedy club that Friday at Utah.
Really?
And then when Cody won, I was like, "Cool, who's this guy?"
Yep.
No,
No, but I'm really excited. I don't know what the move is for you, but if it is pro, I'm excited to see you in there.
yeah.
Maybe you'll actually watch then.
Then I can actually shoot you, and I'll get you a couple photos.
Yeah. No.
So there you go. There's your incentive to, rattle these sponsors' cages a bit, and we'll get some Phase 2 Yogi photography done. As long as
Sick.
you're there on a Saturday.
That's the only reason to go to pro. Right
That's
there.
it. There. That's
Just so I can give you one photo.
It's worth it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, just the one photo.
It's funny because I have probably like outside of the Nitto guys, I probably shoot like 3-4 other drivers that I'm like really close to, especially Turk and Osbo being previous Nitto drivers. I'll
Yeah.
still throw them a bone here and there. They just don't get the full coverage.
I think even Jerry Johnson got one this year because he put Haley's cat on.
No, but I'm never there on those rounds.
Oh, that's
so
right. Yeah.
Like
you're
I don't know how I can.
Sorry,
pause that.
Jerry Johnson.
Jerry, I owe you a photo shoot.
Nobody wants to watch the WNBA.
Oh,
You know?
gosh, Andy Luck's like, I'm ready to come on and drop some knowledge on you guys.
Invite him in.
Yeah,
Come
well,
in.
this is the problem. He drops
Well, now
knowledge,
that-
and then we're gonna have to take down the stream. So this is how it's gonna go. So I already know how it's gonna go. I love you, Andy, but
Andy, you're
I
more
wanna
than
keep
welcome
the stream
join
up.
us. Andy,
Wait, have you ever had an Andy specific podcast?
no, because we've had this
Well,
conversation.
We're gonna wait, and
We've had
me
the
and Herbie are looking at
conversation.
each other for a good reason.
We've had the conversation, and there's just no way that we could do it live.
yes, there is.
Yeah,
He
we
know-
do it
he
live,
knows-
and then someone would clip something, and then someone
He
be
knows when to
upset.
turn it
and-
off. He's
Yeah.
always proper. He never says anything bad, just like me.
I have so much footage of Andy Luck that can never see the light of day. It's great.
No,
I
we
love you,
all have
buddy.
that called normal footage.
I
Yeah,
know, it's great. It's a good
that's
time.
why I'm happy nobody ever records me.
In
Because-
20 years, you can make a movie like behind the spotlight of FD. Be like
Yeah.
a TMZ movie with
Yeah,
all
whenever
that
I
footage.
never want to come back to FD, that's what I'll do. Oh man.
What is it? Isn't there like a law that you can't get in trouble for something after a certain amount of time or something like that? Or
I don't
whatever.
know,
I don't
man. I
know.
feel like if
We'll,
you put
we'll
anything,
post it.
especially if you have info on someone that's actually doing something now with their life, like illegal info, and like you say that, and it's like
Whoa,
disparaging
Andy's
or
never
whatever.
done anything illegal. I don't know. I don't know what you're insinuating there. Andy
I
has
know.
never done anything
Not saying he
illegal.
did. I'm just saying other people, because
Uh,
newsflash, Andy is the master. He knows everything. Like if there's a guy that knows everything about FD, it's him. Okay, and
Uh,
everything that happens, jeez. I'm just digging myself a hole here.
Yeah, no, he told you could stay home. So,
I could stay
all
home.
right.
Yeah.
It looks like my weekends just got a lot easier.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know, guys. I'm sorry, no content this weekend. I don't have a camera.
I know, dude. I am excited for Long Beach though, but also,
Just give
I
me
will be
nobody
there.
records me.
will you?
Yeah.
yeah, I got the wild card entry for Long Beach round 2.
Oh,
Long Beach
Andy.
2. No,
Is
I'm
that
kidding.
pro-
I will be there though. I'll be there hanging
I
out.
was like, when is this news popping up? Actually, that would be kind of cool if you can give them like a glimpse into the future. So like they jump into. I was about to say Irwindale again, Long Beach too, and like hey, just shit, wreck your car. I don't care.
Yeah.
Not wreck your car, but
Yeah.
What I think we should do is they should let me bring my car out there, and I'll let any of the FD judges drive it during the halftime, and they can show how good of a driver they are.
Oh, I like
Reed
this. I
definitely
like
take
this.
you up on that because, as you know, he definitely has been behind the wheel of a 350Z or two.
Oh,
So,
Reese, I love Reese. He's down. He can drive it whenever.
I always find it hilarious when he puts up like when he's at E-Town and he's doing tree turn. He's like practicing tree turn or something. I'm like, dude, you know how to do tree turn. I've been watching you drive E-Town since 2013.
I did clutch kickers with him. Not with him, but the same event he ran,
Yeah.
the Cool Cat. I was there competing as well. Qualified higher than him though, so joke's on you, Reese.
Well, you know, it's the difference between watching and driving. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over under 5 car into turn 1. Hell yeah. Brandon, how you doing? How you doing? Hope your event was good.
Yeah,
Judges
Brandon
can
decided to
show
show
off
up.
their
How
skills.
nice of him.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, I know. Didn't even show up today.
Oh,
Yeah,
I meant for the
he's
judges
fired,
to
that's
show
for
off
sure.
their skills.
it's okay. Herbie was fired for 3 weeks.
I'll be the new sim kid. I'm literally sitting in my sim right now, so I'll take his spot.
There you go.
I know.
Yeah, you're probably a better driver than he is too.
I
on the
just
sim.
got off the sim while we I felt bad. I was like lowering the volume. I'm driving Irwindale right now.
R.I.P.
I know. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
RP. It makes me sad because I've been going to Irwindale since 2007, and
Dang.
this is the one. Like I feel like I'm gonna step back into that atmosphere, but I will say, and I'm probably one of the ones that are gonna say it. I'm excited for Long Beach too, just
Yeah.
because it's brand new, and as James Dean says, it's the Monaco of drifting.
It really is.
So to be able to visit it twice, I think I don't know. I'm really excited for it because we're actually. Are you going, Cody?
I'll be hanging out, not driving.
So it's like one of those things where this is the event. So let's talk it from a shooter standpoint. None of us know what to do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. This
during
is...
media briefing, I don't even know what to tell the media guys. Like, can I stand here? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Does it feel dumb?
So I'm really excited for it, and but yeah, it's I guess new beginnings for a new home. But
Yeah.
we could have not had a round 8, even though championships are won already. But still, 2 more spots to fill on that podium.
That's right.
I like the walls. I like how there's walls everywhere on LB2. They need to just put walls on every track, and it would be really sick.
I still need to give it a try on the sim.
It's not on sim yet. So
Publicly.
Publicly,
Okay.
or at least I don't know. I don't know if they're making it publicly.
If you have a link, send it over.
Yeah, and then we can drive and we can just hit each other for 30 minutes.
I'm looking at you, Herbie. You're talking like you got a link. Let me
I
send
have
it over.
zero idea about anything.
He's just
actually.
assuming right now.
Allegedly.
I'm assuming that maybe that's where they tested some things.
But so
I
basically,
mean, to
if,
be fair, I don't know why. Okay, I'm just gonna give
go
FD
ahead.
a little shit for the video that they kind of originally made to show off.
Oh,
the
why didn't they
track.
use
Like,
Assetto to show
dude,
off the
just
track?
make an Assetto, like a basic Assetto course real quick and just show that, because it would have looked so much
Why not
more
Tour
normal.
Drift?
well, here's the thing: they could have done that, but Nate or Herbie or Cody, if you've driven the Long Beach track on Assetto, that thing has so much data that I can't even stream that map.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like when I try to stream it, like everything just glitches out, and I'm
Oh.
getting like 20 frames a second. So they would have to rebuild on that same map, and I don't know who owns the rights to that whatever
Long Beach
map.
yeah.
Yeah, so they would have to rebuild it, but also assume that this is how the track is going to be. So right now it's not. I mean, it's definitive on the shape, but we don't know what type of walls. We don't know if it's the Long Beach Grand Prix fences. I have no clue. I'm assuming that because the fences are there in place to protect the fans, so it's not like we're just going to get K rails.
Yeah.
So maybe it's K rails, maybe it's not. That's why I'm saying that I'm really excited, because every year that I shoot Long Beach, Atlanta, and so forth, I know where I'm going to shoot.
Yeah.
I know the
Certain
holes.
Times of
yeah.
the day, everything.
Exactly. So right now all I know is that if the map is correct on that preview, is that you end up at the other side of the stair thingy, the whatever that thing is,
Walkway,
the bridge.
yeah.
Yeah, that walkway. So they're gonna end up finishing on the parking lot side, the other side. So yeah, I have no clue what's gonna go on, and I have no insider information.
Different map and more optimized. Hell yeah. All right. That's it. Heard Nate Chen was selling the layout behind the Piggly Wiggly in Tucson.
Yeah.
Oh, it really had the city mapped all the way to the Queen Mary. Damn, we could do Queen Mary parade runs before LB.
It looks like Gardner has the map already. If
He-
you wanna, we transfer that to me or Dropbox.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's much better. Not that it's out yet, but yeah, they really optimize it, but it's not out yet.
Yeah, we know nothing,
Yeah.
and we've seen nothing,
Yeah.
except I'm
Only
excited.
maybe just a little.
Wait, you download on my sim yet?
You gotta harass this guy, BG over there, top B.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like someone might know something. But we are kind of getting to that time, and Herbie, what's going on with you? What's going on with you for the next couple weeks? Because you're back home.
I'm not back home. I'm back home.
He's back home in California.
That's right.
There you go.
Well, up until really Long Beach 2, just a lot of going through and getting stuff done from these past 10 days of journey, finalizing some other things that we've done around the studio. Yeah, so really just kind of hanging out around this general location, saving some money, and yeah, finally played a little bit of 2K over the weekend. I was pretty fucking pumped about that.
All right, hold on. Let me tell you how hard this dude's working. So I get back from Europe after 3 weeks, and he's here holding the fort. Then the moment I get back, which was after I went to Long Beach, Utah for Formula Drift.
Yep.
Then I went to a wedding with some of the OG FD guys that some unheard of at this point.
Yeah.
And then I get back, get to sleep in my own bed, and I say, Herbie, we're going to fucking Utah. So we go to Utah, Salt Lake, Bonneville Sat Flats, Moab, Colorado, a couple days in Vegas.
Couple days in Vegas, made some money.
This dude, he actually made some money.
I did.
And we were touring our Japan clients out. So Herbie is responsible for a lot of videos and reels that we're making for this one wheel company. Shout out. Shameless plug, Bradley Wheels. USA. And I had to get this guy to stop working on the weekend. Like I came in, I was like, "You're not working, right?" He's like, "No." But every time it's like every time I told him something, he's just like, "Okay, I'll work on it right now." I'm like, "Work on it on Monday." So,
well, I always know that there's going to be another thing. That's the glory, Nate, as you know it, with what we do, is that just when you think like you can complete something, but by the time that you complete it, if you're not doing the next thing, then you're probably doing something wrong. It's the same thing of like being at any business. It's like if you're not holding the broom when you got nothing to do, then you're wasting your time. So
Exactly.
I hold myself to that value. I know that sometimes it's very wrong, and I dig myself into a grave of mentalness. But over overwhelmingly enough, I enjoy being like stressed out and like having a lot to do. If that makes sense, like it's not really. It's like a good, happy stress.
You go insane if you have nothing to
Don't
do.
react.
Oh,
Don't. And,
huh.
uh,
Yeah, they're looking at something.
Share the
Looking at
secrets.
Yeah, sure.
Huh. Surely is something.
I think it's Long Beach. I think it's
no,
Long
it's
No.
it's a South Beach.
It's a,
Discord it. Send me
it's
over
an
it in Discord.
incredible woman in lingerie. Wow.
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 But yeah, I've been keeping this guy busy.
Yeah, and
And he's actually been a breath of fresh air. We were stuck in a car together for 10 days, so, and very nice Airbnbs, but stuck in the car. So no, Herbie is doing freaking amazing out here.
Kampai.
No, oh, and he's been learning a lot of Japanese.
Aho.
Aho,
Stupid.
Oh wait, there was some big news that you posted yesterday.
Oh, going to Japan in 105 days. Going to I can't say the other one yet. Yeah, going to places and Japan.
Very cool. Man.
Hooray!
That's exciting.
I'm excited. Yeah, I gotta keep reminding myself I have to get global entry, so that way.
Because every time we go to the airport, we just leave Herbie behind.
Yeah,
We'll go through TSA pre-check, get through it in 5 minutes, and then he's there taking off his sweater, underwear. And
I'm making
shoes.
friends with the hot moms on the other side of the line that I'm never gonna talk to. Oh, I met a hot mom
Oh my gosh.
at the Airbnb. I have her number.
True story.
Yep.
I played wingman.
I even bought her a bottle of wine, went over there to seal the deal, and she was not home. She answered me on her ring, and then so I went back to the Airbnb. I was so exhausted, I fell asleep, and she came to the house. Or
She came to the house in the morning and left a note for Herbie.
yeah, and she tried texting me and calling me that night, and I was just passed out, face down on the bed. And hooray for me!
So what
It's the
month are
most
you
hurt-
going to Japan?
January.
Okay, I'm trying to.
We
not
leave December
picture it,
31st. We arrive New Year's Day, and we'll be there. until-
Dang.
You gonna come?
Pretty sweet.
Or are you trying to plan not to be around me? Is this what that is?
Can I answer for both? I'll say yes. No, Corey Talaska and myself are planning a trip out there around November time, I think.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Colette just messaged me asking if I was going for that thing that I think you're talking about.
No, that's Matsuri. We're gonna be there we're planning for a week or two earlier.
You should actually go during. Have you been?
No, I've never been out of the U.S. before.
Same with this
Same.
guy. So
Yeah.
I will.
White boy.
I will say that if you go during January, it's pretty cool because one, you get to experience everything that happens in January as far as like car meets are way bigger. People are hosting events, parties. And historically, the yen is the weakest during December because it's the least traveled time in Japan because it's cold. And I run hot, so I love being in the cold. I don't know how
Yes,
Herbie's
you
gonna
do.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
So if you want to come out there, at least you can even meet this guy. I'm sure we'll have some free time that night.
Can we say who's bunking with me? Or is that a secret?
I don't want to give it away.
Okay, all right. I have a fun friend, though, that we're going to...
Male friend.
Snuggle together with at night.
Oh my gosh. All right, Cody. Socials, where can people find you at, and all that jazz.
Right now, I'm just pretty active on Instagram, cbuchanan24. The name's somewhere up there. We do have a YouTube that I have not posted to in forever, and I'm really bad about it. I film everything. I edit a lot of stuff, but we don't actually upload. I'm very bad at it. That's Garage 272. There's a lot of previous content you could probably look up, but as of this season, I kind of dropped the ball and focused way more on winning the championship than videoing it.
Yeah. Well, if they want to contact you, hit up your Instagram is what you're saying.
Instagram for sure. It always goes to the request folder, so I'm sorry for late replies. I think there's a bunch sitting in purgatory there right now, but yeah, definitely Instagram, and that's about it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I mean, thank you for the 20-minute outro there, Herbie. It was pretty great of you.
Shut your mouth. You act.
But yeah, I'm just gonna end the show off here. I just want to say thank you guys for checking out this stream. This was a fun one. We had a great time talking to Cody about a variety of things, nothing controversial at all, and also
There wasn't.